Hello. Bam. Boom. People can hear the strain in my voice as I sit here and I just am like, pain.
Yeah, Grant's not feeling too good, chat. He got a sore back.
I've had the sore back for maybe a week and a bit, and I thought, it will just recover itself with, the right kind of rest. But nope, that's not what does it. The rest is not resting. I just hate
Mm.
how,
Sometimes I find a heat pack does work a little bit, like, just applying a little bit of a heat pack or,
yeah, because for
uh
me it's between the shoulder blades at this point.
oh, yeah, that's gonna be really, really hard to get a heat pack there.
Exactly. So it's the issue is if I'm laying on my bed for too long. So which means that my body is not relaxing when I'm laying down, either in a bed or on a couch or anything, or in my chair right now. It's not relaxing is what annoys me so much. And so
Yeah.
interestingly enough, it's craning the neck up, no pain whatsoever. But if I move my head down, I can feel the
They're like the pull it's like that pull right around near the, like, where
between the shoulder
you
blades, where it's just sort of
mhm, mhm, mhm.
bit tight there. So it's
I get that a little bit, but that's mostly because I have a massive scar now from getting a cancer cell removed from, like, just around, like, from my left shoulder blade towards close to the middle of my spine.
Okay, okay. Ooh, someone's got their commissions opened.
And I gotta be really careful when I use my back scratcher. I can't do it under the clothes because I really worry about, like, scratching the scar.
Your butt scratcher? Butt scratcher?
My No, I don't use it for my butt. I use it for my back. Also, hi,
Oh,
Velk. How you
oh,
doing?
back scratcher. Okay, sorry. I was
I
thinking.
would use a. I would. Why would I be using a scratcher on my butt?
I don't know. Have you seen Peter Griffin? He's just butt scratcher, butt scratcher, butt scratcher.
Anytime he hears back scratcher now, he's gonna think butt scratcher. Hi, Velk. How
Exactly.
you
That's
doing?
exactly what I heard on the first go as well. It's just butt scratcher.
Uh, yeah, going all right.
So
How are you feeling today? How are you feeling?
I was up, I think, at 2 a.m.
mm,
because I was asked to do some DSR on FF14.
DSR. The what?
Yeah, he mentioned this to me a little while ago too.
So DSR is an ultimate raid, and I'm like, I haven't done this one on this class.
Okay.
We got up to the final phase, and we wiped with the boss at 0.6%.
Oof. That
Ow.
that hurts. That's some real close timing. Ugh.
Very close, but I'm still really happy with that.
Fair enough. Like you
I
said,
mean,
you hadn't
yeah.
gone through that ultimate with the class you were using at the time, so
What class were you using?
I was playing a healer.
Oh, so it's your fault we all died.
I'll be real with you. I honestly thought that Velk was gonna say Reaper because you've been playing a lot of Reaper. I noticed.
That's my main class.
Oh, okay. So the Reaper's your main class now.
But surprisingly, no, it wasn't my fault we wiped.
Mm.
Weirdly,
No,
I was expecting it to.
I'm only picking on you. I would trust you as a healer.
I wouldn't.
I have to trust Velk as any of the classes that he picks because, quite frankly, if I didn't, I'd be stuck at all the way back at Stormblood. Just how the fuck do I get through Kugane? Also, yes, Milo, it is an annoying place. And I have tried, my pillow, because I've got, one of those pillows that, has a little dip in the middle, so your neck, it rests on the high part and the cranium rests on the low part. I got a body pillow. I got a really good bed as well. Because I know some people are like, oh, maybe it's your bed. Maybe you just have a shitty mattress. It's like, nah, I got connections. The reason I have connections, thanks to my sister, she doesn't watch these streams very often, and I don't think anyone's gonna find out about her through this, but my sister has connections to the mattress company, and she was like, oh, hey, usually we do R&D stuff, and we always go for queen size beds with these R&Ds. So if you want, you can come over to the factory, you can have a feel for one of them, and you can get them because they've gone through R&D at a discounted rate. So they're technically brand new, But because they've had a roller on them for like, 10,000 rolls to simulate like 5 years of usage to see if there's any like problems and such, any of them that do pass R&D, I can get for like, cheap as. And
Yeah, that's not too bad.
it is. And one of the mattresses that they were testing through R&D wasn't actually an R&D of like, oh, new technology. How do we do the spring? It was an R&D quality control. It was their second highest quality mattress line, and they were like, yes, are we still good at making good mattresses? And there was only like one damage on it, which was like this weird like little tuft of like fiber or something like that in the top right because of the roller. And so I got it for an even more reduced price. So what would normally be like a $10,000 mattress was more like, or $5,000 or $8,000 mattress was more like $1,000.
I mean, can't argue with that now, honestly, can you?
No, I can't. Especially when, mattresses are meant to be like 5, maybe 10-year investment. Like,
yeah, I at some point need to replace, I think, not my mattress, but I have like one of these mattress toppers on top of it because one of the mattresses my mother gave me ages back because she gave me a bed ages back, and because she works with like disability and home care and stuff like that, a lot of the stuff they get is good quality shit. And one of the mattresses she gave me was like a king size mattress, right? But it had an extra layer on top of it for comfort and support.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, I missed that mattress. I had to get rid of it, unfortunately, when we got rid of the bed and everything like that, because it wouldn't fit on the new frames that I got.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what does it fit? It's like, no, it doesn't want to fit on these frames. So I need to get so I bought a mattress topper at like Kmart, which helps a little bit, but I need to replace it at some point because like after a while, when you get sweaty, those things get yucky.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Like, I understand that Kmart and Target, like, they're pretty good places to go for like nearly anything. They're a one-stop shop, I'm trying to think of the what's one that everyone knows about, like a Walmart or something like that. But I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm not a rich zebra. Like, I know I'm a furry and I have like a partial, but like top secret, furries are not suspiciously wealthy. They're just financially illiterate, okay? Like, I will somehow go through like 2 weeks without buying groceries and then turn around and be like, yes, I will spend $250 on video games that I might not play half of them. That is just financial literacy there. I'm getting better at it. But anywhoosies.
Yeah.
I won't go to Kmart and Target for like pillow and bedding stuff. I will go to like Sheridan's or Dare's or like I will be a snooty bitch. I will be like, I will go.
I will even go to like Big W or something like that, which do really good bedding too.
Yeah, but that's still like your one-stop shop for everything. I will go
True.
like I want you to think for a minute of, instead of going to Kohl's for my soup, I will go to the soup store for soup. I'm like that with my bed. I will go to the bed store for my bed. The only time, like, I went through like Super A Mart or something like that for like a frame and a closet. The closet's absolute shit. The frame broke at one point, and so a friend replaced it with like hard timber panels or something like that. But now we've got an entirely different bed. But yeah, like, I'm one where it's like, if I don't give a shit, I will go for like Big W and Amazon and Target or Target as the fancy Tarja. Hang on, how do you say it, Velk? How do you try and make it sound fancy?
The shit shop? I don't know.
Oh.
Velk doesn't do fancy, remember?
Velk just holding a tea and saucer, and it's just like, yes, the shit shop. Yes, let's go to the shit shop after my little trip to Victoria's Secret. Or whatever the fuck. I don't know what stores you go into for stuff that doesn't really matter much. Fair enough. Also, hi there, Sir Dragon. But yeah, so, yeah, moral of the story, get yourself a good mattress and get yourself some connections. If you're like, in your teenage years, start making your connections at school or university. Get to know people and don't stick to your own little circle. So if you're an IT person, don't make friends with just IT people. Make friends with like, you know, the physio. Make friends with the engineers and the marketing and the lawyers. Make friends everywhere. It is very important that you do so.
I was asking around at work. Apparently, with work, we can actually look into getting. My brain stopped working. Mattresses and stuff like that from one of our suppliers.
Ooh.
But you got to go through like the right sources for it. Like you can't just go straight to them. There's like you got to talk to like the team leads and stuff like that, and they'll go in on your behalf and go, okay, you know, here's the deal, here's what you do, here's how we can get it.
Alrighty, fair enough.
Okay, Valk, you've already made the game. Did you? Good.
Yeah. Just whenever you're ready.
Okay.
All right. So okay, yeah, we're going to go into the game. I'm going to need to give a disclosure, and I will write this message into the chat as well, and it will be like pinned. Please do not instruct how I play the game, how Code plays the game. Velk's not, you know, streaming how he's playing the game and such like that. So I don't know if it's going to be much of a worry, but do not give advice on any of the three of us on how to play this game. I understand it's like it's a game that is very much tied towards, you know, sort of meta building and crafting of like your skills and like tying into your gear, and that even if you're going into something like a paladin, for instance, for myself, like there's different ways of Cookie for Milo Snap. There's different ways of playing a paladin, and some places are better than other ways, but frankly,
So do you mind if I just do the TLDR?
Yeah, you do the TLDR. Let me zoom in on you.
So, TLDR, okay, for everyone. Last week, we had a fair few people do a little bit of backseat gaming. It kind of ruined the experience a little bit. So just today, we would like everyone to please not do backseat gaming. If we find that any messages you send have a sort of a backseaty gaming type context to it, the message will be deleted. And further backseat gaming may result in just like a few minute timeout. Just because we want to have fun with this game. Grant's really enjoying this one now because it's more like Titan Quest. And because we're playing it as a group, we want to make sure that it's just us giving each other advice, if we're giving advice at all. Does that sum it up for you, Grant?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just making the message right. I'm just making the message right now of do not backseat on how we play. It's very tempting to say questions about the game will be answered by playing the game, but that's not important. Moderator action will be enacted. So
yeah.
Hello, Cookie for Night Sky. Use your Cookie Night Sky.
Yeah. It is just because we had a few people, like I said, backseat gaming last week, and it kind of threw a bit of a dampener on how we sort of went about things. And
yeah, no, I honestly like lost my patience because, like, quite frankly, you know, someone was just like, oh, you should grab this thingy-majiggy and such like that. And like here's the thing. I understand that you're coming from a place of like, oh, they're doing something that might make the experience worse. Let me help them. Like, I can understand, like, because that, like, the whole point of the backseating is trying to get through the journey easier. Also, where do I go to join Velk's thingy-majiggy? I totally forgot.
Okay, yeah, so, lobby.
Yep.
And then put in the name and the password should be all you need to do.
All right, cool. Guessing Velk posted it in the... Yep, they did. All right, cool. Hang on.
In the group? Yep.
So...
And also, now we can switch over to the actual game. Feeling the game is a little bit loud. I might just turn it down.
Game and password doesn't match.
Hello.
Here we go. Hello, Goldie. So yeah, like
hi, Goldie. How you doing?
I lost my patience, honestly, like near the end, because there was like someone that was deciding to just be like, oh, hey, like you should look into doing this kind of a paladin build and such like that. And it's like, quite frankly, like there is way more fun in challenge and failure. Like anyone that's played Dungeons and Dragons, like if you've already gone through like the basics of like, oh, how do you roll your dice? How do you pick your thingamadiggies? When it comes to the role-playing aspect, like true fact, like if you are just succeeding in everything, the DM is going to crank it up until you do failure. The reason why is because story is way more engaging with aspects of failure. Oh, there's a little help thingamadiggy. Why is there a help
Also,
thingamadiggy?
Artemis just came in to steal your shirt, but got no reaction out of you.
Oh, God. Sorry, I was so focused. I was trying my hardest to type into the chat without making it like a mistake or a spelling error and such like that, that you stole my shirt when I was in 100% focus. I'm so sorry, Artemis.
It's okay, Artemis. You can steal my shirt and I'll have a reaction if you'd like.
Wait, why would she steal your shirt?
Because my shirts are bigger and more comfier than yours. She can use it as a blanket.
It's not about the shirt. It's about what's behind the shirt. And she loves the zebra. And look at all these and all that. Like, what do you got? What do you got, Code?
Big comfy shirt.
Big comfy. Chat, go check out Code the Yoshi. I'm in the middle of... We're playing Diablo 2 together, so you can watch Code the Yoshi's like POV if you want. It might be more exciting than mine, apparently. You do know that when your shirt gets stolen, I'm expecting like the, some real Richard II kind of reaction of, oh my goodness. Also, is my sword?
Yeah. The reason why the reason why Grant is very upset about it is because he finds it all unbearable.
Hi there, Masonic.
He can't bear the fact that some people might want my shirt. Bear pun. Oh, Grant's already left the camp, by the way.
Oh yeah, we should probably go to the Darkwood then.
By the way, Grant, we can use the teleporter, not the.
Okay. We're not gonna take the long way around.
Fuck that!
Artemis, that's my shirt.
See, that's not enough of a reaction. It needs to be way more of a reaction after you gave me so much shit. It should have been like, oh my goodness, who stole? Like, hang on a second. Let me put my.
Who stole my shirt? It's all gone. Whatever will I do now?
Also, why is the stony field not like teleportable for us?
Because we didn't find
the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, where is the thing?
Well, we're going to the Darkwood.
The Darkwood.
Yeah, but I wasn't asking about the Darkwood. I was asking about the stony one thingy.
We didn't find it. Where it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's like a secret place. It's not a. Oh.
We just missed it while we were exploring around.
Ah, okay.
I thought we made that pretty clear. Also, chat, just a quick check. Just let me know if the game's a little too loud. I can turn it down a little bit because it does get loud at some parts. I should probably go to do what they pay me to do later.
Yes. Artemis gotta get that bread. She gotta get that monies. Mwah. Love you. Key.
The worst chest I've ever seen.
The worst what, sorry?
That was the... no, it was the second worst chest I've ever seen. The worst one was a locked chest that just had nothing in it.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really bad.
Or
I had one of these. A locked chest that had a key in it.
Yeah, that's inexcusable.
Nah, that one's just kind of funny because it's like, oh yeah, sorry, here's a consolation prize. It's like getting a mini CAC card and getting the lowest possible numbers.
Well, at least it doesn't cost you a lot of MGP anymore. It used to cost you 100, 200, and 300.
Really? The mini CAC board?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Oh.
So you could lose money on those.
Oh, actually, Velk, you will appreciate this. So, shouldn't have, but I was going through the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV while Code was going through the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV when I told him I wasn't going through it. And I got distracted, and I went to the Gold Saucer because the Make It Rain campaign was running. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go through the mini Cactpot card. The first one, it looked like there was like a 1-2 tree of an Inifis. What the fuck is that?
This tree bristles with magic.
Excuse
So
me.
that's gonna get us to find who we're looking for.
Ah, okay.
Although, isn't there meant to be that tower in this area, Velk?
Nope, not here.
Okay, we gotta go back a little bit to find that, do we?
No, we go forward to find that.
Oh, could we find
okay.
the stony place? Take the scroll
Right.
to Akara. Ah, okay, so that's why we're going.
You go do that. I'm gonna go find the Sony Field real quick.
Alrighty. But yeah, so the first Cactpot card, it looked like there was a 1 and a 3 in a single row, and I was like, ah, this is it. Click it. Nah, 1, 3, 9. Second
Yep,
Cactpot
every
card.
time.
1, 2, I click it, 6. The
Yep.
third one, it opened up with a 9. I click in a random place, it says 3. Click in a random place within the line, it was like 4 or something. Click in another random place along the line of the 3, it was a 2. I thought, surely, they're not gonna bamboozle me for a third time.
Yeah, they will.
So I did it. I went and I clicked on the line where it had a 1 and a 3. The
And the only thing I'm
revealing
hearing
number
on
was
my
a
end is-
2. GrantZeebs got it. He got the mini cat card. He got the lowest possible score, and he got it during a Make It Rain season, which means that he got 50% more. So I got 15,000 MGP.
He brought that bread home.
I brought that bread home.
All right, talk to Akara.
Okay.
Ah, very good. I have translated the runes.
I was so pleased. I was so excited. I was shouting, and then I was just like, "Fuck you, Code. See you."
He was mean to me, Chad.
Yeah, told him I wasn't playing Final Fantasy XIV. Then I revealed I did, only to tell him that I won the mini Cactpot card, and I was just like, "Fuck you," and left. All right.
Okay, so start with strength, and then go from strength,
Identify.
dex, vitality, and go from there.
Got 12. All right. Identify the ring and the axe. Wow, the ring is useless. It gives me +4 to mana.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the axe gives me +21% enhanced damage, +2 to maximum damage. Oh, but it's two-handed, so that's annoying.
We're going back to Tristram, to Tristram, to Tristram. We're going back to Tristram.
Are we going back to Tristan?
We're going back to Tristram.
Okay. I'm just gonna talk to Charcy, the big lady here, to let's see, 3,000 to repair all equipment. How much is it to repair the 3,400? Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's a lot of
I don't
money.
think Jeebus is gonna help you there.
Jeebus. Help me, Jeebus.
No.
Alright. So,
God, where
Alright.
is this waypoint?
Stony. So we need to head to
Found it.
Stony Field.
Take the portal now.
Alright.
Jesus Christ, that thing was hard to find.
Wait, your portal? Yeah, Stony Field.
Yes.
There
Yep.
we go.
And now you've got the Stony Fields portal thing.
Nice. I have no idea how you got to this place.
I ran through the cold plains and just ran around the entire place, and it was the last place I checked.
Ah, okay.
The place that we're after is over here.
Because I'll be frank with you, I played a little bit of this offline looking for the Stony Fields, and I couldn't find it. I felt like an idiot.
Well, apparently, it's pretty hard to find.
Ooh. Key, rejuvenation.
Ah! Uh-oh. Okay, we're good.
Scroll of identify. Scroll of identify. A gold Qatar. Ah, but it's for assassins only.
But if it has skills, it's worth money.
Not Qatar's.
Really?
For some reason.
19% enhanced damage, +1 to the minimum, +13 to attack rating, adds 1 to 6 lightning damage, 2 poison damage over 2 seconds, +1 mana after each kill.
I mean, it's still gold, so it's still worth at least a little something.
Tempting to hold on to it and just be like, ah, yes, I will have that for when I never play an assassin. Oh, new
The
stat.
place that we're after is up here.
Yep. Sorry, just killing things to get some levels.
All good,
That's
all
fine.
good. So prayer slowly regenerates. Resisting cold, resisting lightning, cleansing.
Oh, Grant's doing a little bit of
Leveling.
Yeah, I'm just looking at defensive. All right, let's go.
Or you could go offensive.
Yeah, I'm
Or you
gonna look at all offensive. Gonna make this even bigger.
See, that's what I kind of like about the Paladin, is because they do have that offensive defensive capability. They can be a support, or they could, if you're playing in single play, they can be the guy that runs in and just goes, hey, guess what? Bonk.
Bonk. Yeah. Thank you for the bonk scepter as well. Like,
I figured it gives you a few skills to start off with, so because normally Paladin doesn't get that.
yeah. It is
One.
very much a, I am never gonna have to pick up a, ooh, chipped emerald.
Oh, you will probably have to pick up a weapon later on, but like, you know, for now it's like, yo,
It is.
you're kind of in that position of like, you don't have to wait until, you don't have to pick up anything like just yet. You can maybe wait a little bit.
Ooh, the moldy tome.
And so it came to pass that the Countess, who
Ah, there it is. So it came to pass that Countess, once bathed in the rejuvenating blood of 100 virgins, was buried alive. Her
I'm hearing this
castle-
twice now, once from Code and the second from Ben Tennyson's grandpa.
forsaken wilderness, a solitary
Sorry.
tower, like some monument to Eden.
I've just played through this a lot of the time that I could do it pretty much like.
The Countess's fortune was believed
On par. Yeah, like, don't worry.
some say that
I love how when I was going through the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Velk is just like, oh yeah, I know exactly where you are. Oh, I know exactly what you need to do. And he's just like, fuck, how can I remember this but not my car registration? He was just
To this day, I still can't remember that car registration.
yeah, he can't remember that. But a
It's
throwaway
like three
line from the
fucking
lusty
numbers.
Argonian maid. Oh yeah, no, he can read out that book verbatim.
No,
It is
the
like-
rego due date. I can remember my car number plate. That's fine.
It's like 6 numbers.
No, the rego due date. But
Yeah.
you have to pay for it.
That changes every couple of years. How many
Hang
number
on,
of
Grant.
years does
We've
it change?
Sort of gone the wrong way here.
Oh, okay. Ooh, scroll of identify.
So we're going over here to rescue Deckard Cain.
Look for the tower in the Black Marsh, beyond the Blark Woods.
Ooh.
Go to the Karn
me have a look at
Stones,
that.
touch the stones in the order found on the Scroll of Inifis, enter the portal to Tristan, but beware the danger that lies ahead. Ooh.
I might take that if that's all right off you, Velk.
Go for it. It
Uh,
just drop.
Okay, so reading
Yeah, the
the scroll. Water. Okay, so water dropping, water reverse dropping, then the hyphen, then
The
a
water
circle,
Yep.
and then
We
the
can't touch
equals.
them. Only you can, because you've got the scroll.
Oh, okay, so I have to touch it. Okay. 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5. What happens if I got this wrong?
I don't think anything happens, does it?
Nothing. Nothing happened. All right.
Tristan.
what a tragic end to Tristram.
Oh, wait. Why is everything so much closer together?
Oh, that's your problem?
I don't know where we are proportionally, okay?
Well, we started here.
Oh my god, Griswold, he's a zombie. This guy gave us.
The amount of times Griswold killed me in this game when I was first starting out.
He is tanky as fuck.
Not anymore. Ooh, you already picked up level ups. Okay. Oh wait, so hang on. So let me try and get my bearings. So this is the bottom right corner where there's a river and shit. All right. So then this would have been the priest or whatever healer guy's home.
Pepin. Grant, I think maybe let's kill everything here first, then you can reminisce.
Oh, hello. Deckard? What? Wait, you're alive?
Deckard Cain, leave quickly.
I thank you, friend.
Yep, old Deckard Cain is still alive.
Huh. Oh, okay, so this is the fountain, which is now filled with blood rather than water. I'm guessing
so this would have been Griswold's. This was Griswold's.
Yep, that would have been Griswold's. This would have been the tavern.
This was the inn.
Yep.
Up to the tavern.
Up there was the storage area. He was the storage lady.
Yep.
Gillian, yep.
And then there would have been like some upstart boy somewhere up
Over
here.
here, Grant.
Oh,
Over
okay.
here.
Sure is.
Hi there,
Wert's
Space
body.
Hippo. Who's?
What?
Oh, Wert's leg, for whatever reason.
Keep it, because we can show you something later on with it. So put it in
Okay.
your storage for later.
Okay. Man, I can't see shit. I wonder, what did this place look like back on the old game? Oh, yeah, it looks about the same. Looks...
Oh, I heard a charm fall down. Oh, small charm. So, if I'm following everything right, so between here and the cavern, I believe this would have been the cathedral?
I feel like this would have been the cathedral. Although, there's no downstairs, so... Was it all in our heads? Hey, look, cow.
Oh, it wasn't. Because you had to go down there to get the stone, and you specifically just thought it was a great idea to just shove that in your head.
Oh, yeah. Spoilers for those of you who haven't played the first Diablo. Yeah, I played as the warrior. I was told not to, and at the end of defeating Diablo and shit, I shoved the gem that had Diablo's soul into my head, because apparently I thought it was a great idea to put in my head after seeing the Crown Prince put it in his head and die.
Well, it wasn't, he didn't put it in his head willingly, it was kind of just shoved in there.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Lazarus.
Okay,
Alright,
so where do we go
come
from
through
here?
come through Velk's portal,
Oh,
You
okay.
saved
there's
him.
no- Okay.
and now we can talk to Deckard Cain.
As a token of my gratitude, I will identify items for you at no charge.
Oh, nice.
Regrettably, I could do nothing to prevent
Now,
this
here's the thing.
step.
Oh, hang on, let me just finish the story first.
It would appear that our greatest fears have come to pass. Diablo, the Lord of Terror, has once again been set loose upon the world. As you know, some time ago, Diablo was slain beneath Tristram, and when our hero emerged triumphant from the labyrinth beneath town, we held a grand celebration that lasted several days. Yet, as the weeks passed, our hero became increasingly aloof. He kept his distance from the rest of the townsfolk and seemed to lapse into a dark, brooding depression. I thought that perhaps his ordeal had been so disturbing that he simply could not put it out of his mind. The hero seemed more tormented every passing day. I remember he awoke many times, screaming in the night, always something about the East. One day he simply left, and shortly thereafter Tristram was attacked by legions of foul demons. Many were slain, and the demons left me to die in that cursed cage. I believe now that Tristram's hero was that dark wanderer who passed this way before the monastery fell. I fear even worse, my friend. I fear that Diablo has taken possession of the hero who sought to slay him. If true, Diablo will become more powerful than ever before. You must stop him, or all will be lost.
Okay. So the thing we saw in the cutscene is definitely what happened. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Also, fun thing. This is what Velk told me. I didn't realize this because I've always rescued Deckard Cain. If we don't rescue him and skip this mission, he'll show up in the next level, in the next chapter, right?
Uh-huh.
And the backstory is that the archers and everything, the rogues rescued him, and he won't identify things for free. He'll charge us to identify.
Well, I'm glad that he isn't being a bit of a bitch and doing that to us, so yay. Alright, I'm gonna put the... legendary thingamadiggy away.
Hang on. Something just dropped then. What was that? She dropped an item.
She gives it to you directly.
Oh, okay. I thought, like, something had dropped. I didn't realize it.
It was a ring.
It's a ring. Light radius and attack rating. Extra gold from Meonster.
Okay, so the preserved head is for necromancers, and I can use Wirt's leg to beat undead over. Nice.
Ooh, a shimmering shield of blocking.
Talk to you. Ooh, you have something for me.
Monastery? I left behind the Herodric Malice.
Ooh, I didn't know she was part of the monastery.
Retrieve it for me. I'll use its magic to.
Ooh, Chantry, the blacksmith.
Yeah, I didn't realize she did that kind of cool stuff. All right, sell you. Triumphant Hand Axe of Blight. No, because yeah, that. Also, I have so many fucking keys, like two-handed scepter thingamadoogie, another two-handed.
Okay, I'm gonna get the lycanthropy up to 5 first, and then that way I can stay in bear form a little bit longer.
What?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally activated a trade with you.
Okay. I was wondering. I was just like, yes? Question mark. Look for Herodric Malice in the monastery barracks. Beware of the smith that guards it. Look for the tower in the Black Marsh beyond the Dark Woods. Okay.
So yeah, that tower is gonna come. Is a great place to get some. I think runes, wasn't it? Is normally what we get out of there.
Correct.
Charcy talks of nothing anymore but this Herodric Malice.
Alright, so
between you and
yeah, follow Velk.
Need a rest.
When you're ready, Grant.
Just find it.
Yep. I'm all out of mana though.
Oh, go speak to Akara.
Akara.
You have risked your life to rescue Cain.
Any good gambles with Jahid? No.
Seek his counsel immediately.
Like, I doubt I'll get anything good out of him. I never do.
10% faster cast rate. Iron Ring of Light. Giving. Wait, is this? Did you sell these?
Yeah, I sold those.
Okay. Small Charm of Greed. And then
Well, they weren't any good to me, so it's like, eh.
Nah, fair enough.
Hi, Val. Wait, have you got like a what? You got look like you got like a bloody. Hang on. Oh, just the way your cap looks. It looks like you got a beret on. The red.
I mean, I guess I do.
All right. So through the road
And that's how they look like
encampment to
there.
the stony field or the dark wood?
The Darkwood.
Woo!
Just picking a direction and going.
We follow the path. We have the luxury of the path for now.
Yeah, but off the beaten path is where all the monsters are we can kill.
True. This thing takes so much mana away from me.
What thing was that?
My skills.
What skill are you trying to use?
Multiple shot. It takes away 10 mana every time I can cast it.
I've got some skulls in my chest if you want some of those for...
Oh, wait. Grant, press this ride.
What did that do?
Threw a whole bunch
Take a look
of
at the ground.
poking gas potions at us. No, they're not my farts in a jar, okay? Shut up.
Didn't ask, but now I can't stop thinking that Code just, you know, has an OnlyFans selling farts in jars to help pay the bills. And if you're
No, I
not,
don't
how
have
are you not
anything-
doing that? You could probably
I don't
make
have
so much
anything
money.
like that.
Ooh, a skull
I
cap.
have nothing. I have nothing like that at all. Chat. Hide the account. Hide it. Oh, a wolf head. Mine.
Low quality skull. Oh wait, skull caps are a yeah. I thought it was an actual skull that you would like put into your thing, not a hat. Never mind. I was an idiot.
It'll do. One to lycanthropy, so that'll do.
Gonna be release mana.
Too late, Code. The account has already been exposed.
Hi there, nuclear progenita atomica. Welcome, welcome. We are going
You gotta
through
follow me,
Diablo 2s. Also, hi, Brickmaster and the Space Hippo. I was so focused on this game, I'm so sorry.
Oh, a yellow skull cap. Hang on, let me identify that for you. Enhanced defense, energy, resistance, and repairs.
Wouldn't that have been great back in Diablo 1 of self-repairing?
Yeah, hang on.
Oh, the Black Marsh.
Yep, hang on. I got a skull cap for anyone who wants it. Hang on, hold up. There you go. Have a look at it.
Enhanced defense, energy, mana, cold resistance, whereas... ooh. Higher defense. Enhancing defense, increasing the energy, giving me cold resistance and poison resistance. Gives me 1 durability every 33 seconds. Sure. Thank you, Code. You sure you didn't want it?
No, because I've got my wolf's head gives me like 1 skill to my lycanthropy, which keeps me in bear form a little bit longer.
Ah, okay, okay. There's so much going on here. What the fuck is going on?
There's a boss razor that is
Where?
dead now.
I killed it. I was honestly tempting on remaking a necromancer for our run, but I'm like, no, I'll keep it the druid.
Oh, I can use that.
Damages nearby enemies with Heavenly Flame, adding fire to your attack. Huh.
Really? Oh, that's with your
I'll give it a try.
One of your auras?
Yep.
So it'll only work on you, so it won't affect any of us.
Aura damages nearby enemies with Heavenly Flames, adds fire to your attacks. Yeah, okay.
It honestly, it is a really cool ability though. Great in like really tight spaces.
Yeah, because it
I
lights
suppose-
people alive if they're near me. Oh, it's still Atomica, but you had to get a new account. Wonder what happened there.
Oh.
Or was it a name change, or is it like a brand new account?
New account, it seems they said.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
And a superior Taj up here for you, Grant.
I am overburdened.
And a Taj down there for you. You got Tajed.
Tajed, yeah. Okay, hang on a second. Let me...
Hang on, I've grabbed a couple of things. Let me...
Actually, you know what? Let me... Where's the thingy? Town portal... Here. So... Talk to What's-a-Mahoozy. Get some free... Where the fuck is he? Deckard!
Oh, he's, for some reason, hiding behind the portals, and I don't know why. He never used to be there.
Is it... Oh, there you are, Deckard.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, and it's a bit strange.
Alright, so... Alright, so I've got... Okay, I can probably get rid of... I'm gonna sell the ghoul cap real quick. Give me a second.
Your presence honors me.
Charcy, I haven't got your smithing hammer yet, but have a cap.
I do miss Town Portal being a spell that you can cast freely rather than having to...
With a scroll? That's... Hunter's Bow of Worth, +2 minimum... fuck it. Large Axe of
That could
Flame.
be good for your lady.
Oh, that's right! Boots of Self-Repair. Nah. I have honestly forgotten. Thank you for the 1 bit, Meeps. You wanted a cookie? You talking about a cookie like right here? Cookie.
Eats cookie.
Meeps cookie. Chat, did you know
that the only reason I give out these cookies is because Meeps demands cookies? They are like one of the OG followers. They, long time ago, but not so long that it doesn't matter. Jesus, 5 years ago. They were one of the, one of my first followers, and when they were in my streams, they were, they would demand a cookie. And it was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I will let you get a cookie. And so, you know, I made a thing where you could get a cookie as a redeem. All right.
5% chance to cast 1 amplified damage on striking. 25% enhanced damage, minimum damage, 2 to attack rate. You know what? I might as well put this dagger on. It's actually not too bad.
Sorry, I'm just gonna sell both of these thingamadiggies because they're not really worth. And then repair all the equipment. Cookie
Good
for
idea.
Fish Tiger. Here's your cookie. Lore accurate meat. You are absolutely correct, Canadian floof. It's a lore accurate meat. Look how many
Heavy
keys
boots.
I've
See if I
got.
get
It's
anything good out of
ridiculous.
these.
Like, we've not been
Enhanced
seeing this
defense,
many.
repairs, durability. 1 to dex. Enhanced defense isn't too bad. Might as well.
Oh, whoops.
And let's see about getting a bow for my hunter. Let's see, what do we get? Minimum damage. Nope. The other one I got is better. I can't use that. Oh no! Nobody saw that whoopsie.
I didn't see a whoopsie whatsoever, so you're right.
Good. Because I would have to kill you.
Oh, I found the hole.
Oh, are you back through there, are you?
Yeah, because I sold all the things I needed to. There wasn't anything
Okay.
left. Well,
Oh yeah, there is a cave here. Although it's not the one we're looking for, but, you know,
it's
it's
called
a
a hole.
cave.
It's not called a cave, though, so I feel like, you know, it's going to be something important.
No, I think it's just a side cave, but as we said, side caves are good caves.
Oh, wait, it's called the... Hang on, I need to do something really quick.
It's called the hole.
Yeah.
Velvet,
Hang on,
we should
hang
check
on,
something
hang on.
before we go in the hole.
Hang on. Velk wants to make a joke. Come on, Velk.
Yep.
Get it over
Go on,
with.
go on, do it, do it. You know, it's the hole.
Okay. Yep. I have now sent both of you hole pics.
Okay. What am I about to...
Oh. Volk sent us a picture of his hole.
Excellent.
Velk, I hope you choke on it.
You hear that?
For those of you
Code,
who
Code
can't see,
wants
which is
people
everyone else,
choking on Velk's hole.
So,
I just sent a photo of that cave.
For those wondering, Velk just sent a photo of the actual cave itself and just said he sent us a photo of his hole.
No, I said hole pic.
You know, because...
Technically correct.
Technically. Yeah, he just wants to show people his hole.
Yeah. It's his hole. There are many like it, but that one is his.
Oh, look, another preserved head.
You know what I fucking hate? Like, you know, one thing that really annoyed me throughout most of my gameplay through Diablo 2 was trying to find unique gear for your specific character, and all the time you keep getting ones for other people's, like for other characters.
Oh, I wonder how that feels.
Also, James, stop taking my shirt. Don't you moo ha 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 at me.
Wah ha ha.
A dead rogue had an emerald.
Passed the ability twice, and thus I am Arum. Holy shit.
Yeah, you need some,
I need some mana steel or something.
like I said, I've got some, skulls back in my chest if you want some of those for any, mana steel.
I don't have a weapon that can take it. And also,
okay.
I'm probably going to be upgrading my weapon a lot.
Quilted armor warding. How do I check my other character's armor?
Press O.
Yeah, O.
Okay, cool. Repairs 1 durability.
Speaking of, I really should be giving her some better gear too.
Yeah, I have to remember to do that.
It can be really hard because, like, I think even in the original version of Diablo 2, like, the only thing you could normally give them, like, I don't even think you could give them anything in the original version
You could
of Diablo 2.
not give them anything.
No.
Ooh, +2 to strength.
They were so weak because of that.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, you're using a crossbow.
Yes. I told you I was going to be upgrading frequently.
Grant, we followed, just down a little bit.
Yeah, give me a second.
He's going up.
I'm going across.
Okay, well, we'll go the other way around. It says level 1, but I don't think I've seen a floor to the next level, so I think this is it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Sometimes it'll say level 1 and not actually have another level.
Should be the operative word.
Maybe we missed a turn? It looks like we
I'd
missed
say
one
so.
up there. Like, hang on.
Oh, yeah, I see it over there. Yeah.
Velk's going Speedy Gonzalez right now. Yeah. Hi there, Lasley. Gotta get to work, but have a great stream. All good, Lasley. Did you see the photo that I shared from the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? They got otters now. Oh, there's nothing here. Damn. Oh, but there is another, Oh, Velkin code already. Damn it.
Oh, that's how that ability works. Interesting. Okay.
How does what ability?
What
work?
ability?
So my multiple shot, it sprays out depending on where I click on screen.
Yeah.
As in, if I do it far away, it does a tight spread like this. But if I do it close to me...
Ah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Great
either until
motivation
just
for me to
then.
give Final Fantasy XIV a try. Well, did you know, Lazarus, that the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV comes with an extended free trial, allowing you to go through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heaven's Ward and tantalizing Stormblood and player-favorited Shadowbringers expansion up to level 80 with no restrictions on playtime? You should join us.
Yo, at this point, they might as well just be paying Grant just to say
Really
these.
should.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Oh, that was a Lego Batman laugh just then.
Lamau, the ad cut off. Oh no, you didn't even hear my full rant? Damn.
Well, that's why you need to be a subscriber.
Alright, down. We're going to the second level of this hole.
Or have Twitch Turbo.
Thank you, Lazuli, for the subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. You don't have to deal with advertisement like that earlier.
Lazuli_SM with the %.
Have to deal with Grant's advertisement.
Yeah, you have to deal with my advertisement when I talk about the critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV. Or... I don't really do a lot of advertisement, do I?
I was waiting for Grant to take a deep breath to start doing that again.
Yep, same. Oh, there we go. Oh, never mind, it's only 2. Ew, get away from me.
Hang on. Big blue chest, but let's deal with it.
Like, honestly, I don't know what you expected.
No. Like, I went to say, let's deal with everything else first, so we're not having to, like,
Get rid of those ads, because I was listening to the good Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, I do good Final Fantasy XIV advertisement. But yeah, you don't have to deal with any advertisement, and you get to utilize all of these cool emotes. Look at that! Look at all these cool emotes. All right, hang on.
There's a bow there for anyone's
Town
lady
portal.
who's wanting.
This is just so then that way I can... Where's Deckard? He's still behind Velk's portal, so he needs to go through... Alright, so...
Yeah, he'll do that. He used to stand around about here, even a bit closer to the fire, but now he moves down there. I'm not sure why.
Plus one.
It's like if I go into the old view, oh no, he's still behind the portal. Okay.
10, 1 to light radius, honestly. And then we got a jewel that does minimum damage and poison resistance. And then a chipped amethyst that does... So that's already filled in
Amethysts
there.
and all that, I'd recommend putting them in your inventory, because later on you can do a little bit more with them when you've got more gear.
Yeah, especially gear with more... You're in my way to get to the chest for whatever reason. I can't get to the chest while you're there.
Oh, I'm sorry, is my fat ass in the way?
Yeah!
Is my fat bed dumpy in the way of you?
Yeah!
Look at the difference between the bear in like the old version versus like the new version. The bear in the old version has fucking abs.
Spiked Club of Strength. +2 to strength and undead. It's not better than this. Dexterity. Maximum damage. There we go. Repair
I've also
all...
cut out the walk so you can use my portal.
Alright, hang on. Speak to What's Mahuzi and pick up...
Good evening.
Stamina, antidote. Alright.
Alright, we're going through Velk's portal.
Yep.
Why Velks? Oh, because we don't need to go through the hole anymore?
Yeah.
Nope. We're done.
Oh, okay.
You got the shiny chest, you press the shiny chest, and
Did we
thus
grab
we're
all
done.
the blue stuff from the shiny chest?
It's not worth picking up.
What do you mean it's not worth
You're
picking
better
up?
Not all the blue items are worth picking up. Like, especially if they're not something that you would probably use on your build.
But you could sell them.
You
Yeah,
could, but
Wait,
inventory space. You'd be going backwards and forwards quite a fair bit.
a lot of the items you get from like the third or fourth act are worth somewhere between 20,000 and 25,000. We are making small cash right now.
Yeah, because we're at the beginning area. Who knows? There might be a blue that just does some crazy stat changes. You don't know this.
No, rarely ever.
I do know
does
this.
Rarely ever does a blue item give you anything good. Yellow to greens, now they're worth picking up.
Yeah, if you see a yellow, absolutely go to
Wait,
town on
there's
that thing.
green?
Yes.
There are. So green are specialized unique items that give a lot of benefits.
Okay.
They're sometimes worth getting the set, but they're not. There's a yellow.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
saw it. Let me just...
Also, Grant, there is a difference between yellow and gold item.
faster block rate, increased chance of blocking, cold resistance, lightning resistance, and attacker takes damage of 1.
So, do you have a yellow item on you, Grant?
Mostly
probably.
now, yeah.
Hang on. Let's see.
1 to strength, 8 to life. Strength.
Oh, hello.
Now I can also pick one of my sages too, so I can get the oak sage, which gives life to the party, or I can go Heart of the Wolverine later. Or we'll get one in oak sage and then put the rest into Heart of the Wolverine, which does more damage for pets. For now, let's focus on leveling up these two at least to level 5, and then I'll think about getting something else for the other areas later.
I liked when Titan Quest allowed us to filter items based off of rarity.
Yeah, it was useful, and I don't think even Diablo 3 does it anymore.
What?
Diablo 2, the Warlock one does, but I don't know about Diablo 3. They might, but I don't.
The temptation to get the Warlock expansion just so I can filter out.
Yeah, but you're not going to be playing the Warlock, and like you said, you're only doing it for one playthrough.
Yeah, exactly. That's fair.
Unless you want to play the Warlock, in which case, I don't know.
Nah.
Go have fun.
I mean, later on, I may do a solo run to play as different characters, but yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm curious about the Warlock.
So am I, mostly just because of the fact that, like, it seems like he's able to control other demons. Like, he's literally able to take over the minds of other demons. And ooh, Wolfhead.
Ooh, be right back.
Oh, okay. Molten Boulder, Werebear. Summon Spirit Wolf. Yeah, that one's going on. Ah, no, I didn't mean to drop it. Come back here.
Where is
that
everyone?
gave me one more. Oh, one more on my
you're all the way
Wolfie.
over there. I went the explicitly wrong direction. Oh, a jewel.
So, you know how you can socket gems into your equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jewels do that, but they have random effects.
Nice.
Sometimes very nice ones. What Code was talking about with green items, by the way, was things like this.
Oh,
Sigon
holy
Shelter
fuck.
Gothic. What the shit?
Did you just pick that up just then?
No. Remember how in our last playthrough it randomly dropped?
Yeah.
I'm wearing it now.
All right, so that's the Black Marsh.
I mean, sure.
Oh, look, there's a
you do you.
tower. I'm guessing this is where we need to be.
Yep.
Yeah. So, if you do find any of the Saigons, let me know, and I will probably pass it on to Grant because it seems like Grant's set.
Mm-hmm.
Skill bind for now. I'm gonna place there.
Ah, this feels like classic Diablo 1.
Yeah,
Hang on, don't run off too far without me.
it is too late. Yeah. On a warpath.
Oh right, I can't use any of my elemental abilities in bear form, can I?
Nope. You are not allowed.
Okay, I nearly died.
See, there you go. There's a yellow item.
Oh, a sash. I will pick up the healing and the rejuvenation and the potions and though, because I did nearly die at that point. Well, I finally hit a moment of, oh, hey, I need to be careful.
Yes, lightning enchanted things are always terrifying. It gets worse.
Noted.
There's the next
Noted.
level down, but we'll wait for Grant to do some exploring.
Oh, unsure if either of you want.
Robin, let me have a look.
Ooh.
I'll
11%
have a look.
enhanced damage, +1 to strength, +2 to life, +9 to mana, poison lengthen reduced by 25%, +2 to
Honestly,
life
yeah.
resistance. Hell yeah.
Let me just quickly go back into town because like I have a bunch of stuff I need to get rid of. Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while.
I'm not Sean Connery.
Grant,
Yeah, what's up?
how much strength do you have?
56. My base level is 50.
56. Okay. When you get to 70, let me know, and I will pass you this.
Noted.
Because it gives defense.
Oh, and it's part of like a set, like in Titan Quest, where the blues and the yellows have like defensive shit. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of just been doing like a mix of my I've been doing like a mix of my stats for now. So like I've got like 35 on my dexterity and my vitality's gone up by like 10 points and I'm sitting on like base 30 and then my energy is base 25. So, you know.
I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt to have a little bit of a mix in some stats just because you'll want to have the benefits that those stats offer you.
Yep.
The dex is lovely. Vitality, you want this.
Lapis Lazuli Jewel of Freedom. Plus 15% cold resistance, minus 15% requirements. I could probably slot it into the green thing. And what's 15% of 70?
Oh, no. It's not socketed. You are unable to shove it in.
Ah, okay. Damn.
You have found the throw button.
Yep, I have a javelin as like my because I'm just pressing W to swap between one weapon or another, and I was like, you know what? Fuck these guys in particular. I'm gonna swap to my javelin because I've got like a yellow javelin. Look at that.
It does a lot of throwing damage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's the whole
That did
point
a lot
of
of damage just then.
Well,
so...
Why can't I pick up my skull? What? Let me pick up the skull. There we go.
Okay, I found the next floor, but we'll want to have a bit of an explore on this just so Grant can get gear and equipment.
Yep.
About that.
What about that?
What did you find? Oh, that's it. That's all this
That's it.
floor
That's
has.
everything.
It's probably a good thing that like the scepter and the javelin I have is like okay-ish, considering yeah. So.
Devil Lust. That's a name. So what's your name, big boy? I'm Devil Lust.
Devil Lust.
Well, that's nice.
Well, I'll take it to sell. Something about this room's ominous.
Because of the fire. Oh, it's a pentagram.
No, I don't think it's the fire. I think it's the pillars. I think they're not up to workplace health and safety.
No, definitely the pillars. Definitely the pillars.
Yeah.
Like, it couldn't be anything else.
Well, you gotta have a fire pentagram.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you know it's a good satanic ritual area.
But you can't have the dungeon going down on your followers. Like, that's
Exactly,
sloppy.
exactly. That's shoddy demonic OH&S. Jazz just looking at us silly.
Just a little bit.
See, look, another pentagram. See?
It's in the same
Perfect
spot as last
occult.
time.
Yeah.
Someone's OCD in the demon world.
Hey, are you saying that demons can't have OCD?
No, I'm saying that they can.
I'm pretty
I mean,
sure
those demons go,
the vampires
go
are
for a
forced.
lot of hell.
Like, there's a thing where vampires, in order to like keep themselves sane and such like that, they'll just count whatever's like on the ground or something like that. And so, like, if you ever are getting chased by a vampire, just throw like salt or like sugar or rice, something of like high quantity that they need to count.
That also works with other cryptids as well.
Yeah, okay. I only knew about it for the vampires. Maybe it's just all... Wonder why the other cryptids. Is it because of like the long life thingamadiggy and the compulsion is just biologically ingrained in them?
Not 100% certain.
You know what
do
someone
know that
clowned me on the other day? Sorry,
that?
do your thing.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, no, it's like, that was the only thing I was saying was just like, yeah, it's pretty similar to other cryptids, but I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do yours.
Okay, so I got clowned on this, like, by people in a friend VC and such like that. We were talking about like stupid shit and like different hypotheticals and what have you. And I had like this is a legitimate question, okay? This is a real question. Why were we biologically evolved to have two breasts? Why didn't we have one?
You know what? Man has a point.
Because I raised this question. It's just like how did we not end up with like, you know, just the one like nipple, like, you know, sort of at the torso or at the stomach, and then I got fucking clowned on because they thought I was interested in a belly nipple or something like that.
Well, it would be lopsided. And balance issues, and then the hunting aspects.
What?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because if you're a lady and you're trying to do a lot of running around and you've only got one titty, I mean, that one big titty is going to throw you off.
Yeah, but they're not going to make it like like, why wouldn't we have, you know, it just in the center is what I'm saying. Because we're developing the breast like before like the gender identification and all that kind of nonsense. So like, it's why men have a, hey, look, a wolf. Oh, it's a gray wolf.
In a lot of species, the woman does the hunting. And the men just fucks off because, I don't know.
Men are inferior to the hunt. Ooh, new skill.
Honestly, Greg, I think we're thinking too hard into it, and it's gonna hurt everything.
All good, all good. Oh, Ethrune.
Oh, apparently we killed the Countess already? I didn't even see her. She didn't even say her usual line.
No, normally she says something and then jumps
Your blood
out.
will boil.
Ethrune can be inserted into a socketed device. Weapons, minus 25% targets defense. Armor regenerates mana. Helms and shields regenerate mana. Nice.
Yep, now here's something to know about runes. Using them in a certain order can actually spell out a word, which can give you extra bonuses if you spell those words out when you socket them.
I can't carry it.
But the item has to be the correct item, and it has to be the correct word, and it has to be in the correct order.
So, like, axes with a certain word can spell out beast, which can be great for different builds. Or you can get ones for sorcerers. Big stretches.
And you get one for shields, which is Raltal, which is...
Alright, I'm gonna
something.
use a town portal because I'm out of inventory.
Yeah, good idea. Plus, we don't need to be here anymore anyway, so...
I will
Done, my friend.
portal us outside.
Courage and opportunity
So you can
together
settle
have
and-
created
Sounds good,
I'll see
sounds
you
good.
outside.
alchemy.
Oh, come here.
Alchemy! Alright.
Honestly, there's a lot of characters who would have complimented on you going through that one.
Alchemy. Alright,
Alchemically.
Alright, Charm of Strength is me +4. This is doing mana. Gemmed Short Sword. I don't remember gemming that fucker, so... Charm of Dexterity. And then... Okay, I'm gonna keep the rune in the shared inventory. So, we've got F.
Oh.
Okay.
F.
Just take the Black Marsh waypoint.
Alright, fair. Sounds fair. We still need to
And now
find
I have
Charcy's hammer.
another wolf. Which is where we're going to next.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Superior Scepter.
Uh,
Why
let
is
me
my
just
Superior
see.
Scepter now gray? It used to be a yellow.
So your Superior Scepter has probably got a socketed effect.
Ah,
in it.
okay. That's why it's...
Now, let me just see if any bows... What does my girl have on her?
Alright, so we don't go back
She's
through the cellar.
got 2 poison damage. Okay, it's just a shitty short bow.
Good day.
Let's see...
20, 18 to 20. And we just head back to the
I'll probably-
Black Marsh?
Yep.
Yeah, Black Marsh, I think, was where we gotta head to. Oh, I don't have the Black Marsh. Can somebody open up a portal for me to get there?
Sure can.
For some reason, I didn't have
No.
that one of, didn't have that portal.
Yeah, look at where it was.
Yeah, I thought I clicked on it, but apparently I didn't.
Cow?
Cow go moo.
Cow go moo.
Or if you're in Resident Evil 4 Remake, cow go, no, Betsy!
You lost
That's
me.
when you blow up Betsy. So during the Resident Evil 4 Remake, depending on how you do in the village fight, the cow will actually get lit on fire, and it's actually it's pretty much scripted. You can't stop it from happening.
Okay.
But in the OG version, you didn't have to worry about that. You could not kill the cow. I'm coming.
Tamo
Everything
Highway. Tamo. Where's a portal?
You will find it. It's normally along the path for this one.
Alright. Back on the path we go. Okay.
Trust me, this first area, like, you know, this first chapter, it's really easy to miss a lot of these thingos.
Okay, my back's getting better,
Yeah.
which is good.
Your back's feeling all right?
Yeah, this is the annoying thing about it. It's just like the start of my day, like, it's just terrible. It's tightened up and such. So it's like I can't be lazy. I can't be like, oh, let me just, 15 more minutes in bed or anything like that. It's like, nope. If I want to feel better, I have to get up. I have to get a shower. I have to do stretches and such like that. And then it's fine. Like, that's what's annoying. My body is punishing me for being lazy. It never had to do this before.
Yeah, but that happens when you turn 30.
God damn it. Is my biology just being like, get up, Grant? You need to rise and grind. You no longer can be lazy. You have to accomplish things. You have to get a girl. You have to get a car. You have to get a house. You have to get, some mad wins. Should really learn by now. Nothing in blue is gonna be good for me.
Yeah, at this point now, like, even it gets to the point like now it's not worth picking up blues if you've got a whole pile of them.
The rings are always worth picking up.
Yeah,
And
this
the
one gives
amulet.
me increased attack rating, so...
Rings and amulets, I find, are normally worth picking up, but like
'Cause they're so
weapons,
rare.
like weapons, unless the weapon is based on something you want for your build, like a sword or something like that, specifically for the type of character you want to have.
I'll put that to good use.
Like at this point now, it's probably mainly only worth picking up items that are unique to your character. Like, the heads, like the wolf heads for me, or what's unique for the Amazons? What did they get?
We get bows in Act 3.
Yeah, like I thought, like I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I don't remember what the Amazons got that were unique to them.
Or maiden spears in Act 3. So, not for a while.
Okay.
Oh, there's another cave here.
Oh.
The pit.
Alright, let's have a
We
little
wanna
sniff
check out-
around the pit.
Hard veto on that one.
And you
Oh,
go off at me for my joke.
Oh, so I'm not allowed to make a joke now? Now at your expense? Velik was able to
mean,
make
you
his
can.
joke about the hole. I can't make a joke about the pit.
I mean, you can, but it's got to be funny. That's the only thing.
No, this is the pits.
There you go. That's better.
There you go. Good work, Grant. Good work.
I know how to do the funnies. I am a variety streamer. I don't have that much of a personality beyond my jokes.
Why does that hurt, but also not at the same time?
Because in your head, you're just like, fuck, he's right. You're just so real. Ooh, a large charm. Meow.
It says large, but I'd say it's more like a medium.
No, I think it's adequately sized.
Oh, extra gold from monsters. Okay, nothing that special.
Perfect cookies.
Okay. Sorry, I was dropping some items, so I lost track of where you guys went to.
All good, all good.
Why does this area look eerily familiar to the last cave we went into?
Because all caves are the same. This is one of those examples like in Mass Effect 2 where they just, give us the same environments, but then they, do a little small rotation, so then that way we get something new. This is an aspect of video game design where you will try and create repeatable patterns, so then that way you reduce the actual workload on the PC and the resources that you have to have on porting out into consoles and PCs. There is an art to this.
You know what I heard out of that? Nerd. Hi, Grant. I love you. Don't tase me.
Do I have that taser? Hang on a second. Let me find that taser.
Do you still have the taser?
I don't know if I do. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it.
Were you talking? He's pulling his cock out, everyone.
That definitely sounded like that. Holy shit, that was left field.
That Grant was pulling his cock out live on stream.
I was doing none of the such. Also, there's a lot of monsters here.
I don't know, chat. What did you guys hear? Did you guys hear the sound of pants unzipping?
Oh, you can't just use that. Holy shit.
Yeah, great. You can't just whip that one out. Ow!
There we go. Found it, chat.
Why?
I found the zapper.
Why do you have to use the taser on me? I didn't even do anything. You're the one whipping your dick out.
Boots, gloves.
Ooh, Superior Wolf Head. Just lycanthropy though, because this one gives me a little bit more of my werebear and summon wolf. So I might just keep the. I mean, it's socketed, which isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm. Plus 5% extra gold. Cool.
Ooh, big yawn. Sorry.
Oof.
I could go for a nice coffee right about now.
Ooh, 30% enhanced defense and 1 strength. Ah, but it doesn't do much better than my imp gloves. I wondered, can my... Ah. Claudia only gets chest, head, and a weapon. Darn. Also, why do I have the superior buckler? That's a waste.
Sometimes superior items can be useful.
Clip that for later use.
Are you referring to what just happened with Grant's pants?
No, Claudia only gets head.
I think we can go this way. I don't think we can go that way out.
Fair point. And we're doing all this because it's like, oh wait, hang on.
Well, I mean, it's worth it for the experience as well as possibly gaining decent items, so...
Yeah. Yep. The music is a bop, though.
Oh yeah, the music in this game is really good.
Oh, especially in Act 2.
Hmm.
Like, you get some really good dark atmospherical parts. The only thing I hate about Druid is having to resummon my birds each time.
That gives you something to do.
I mean, I guess so.
Last thing you want to do is like go through a Diablo, like a game, and not press anything. Like, games are meant to be interactive. Like, if you're just sort of like, you know, pressing forward.
Oh, trust me, I had a friend of mine who built a barbarian. Like, not many real, like, full, like, skills, but the whole thing he made was, like, he spec'd out the barbarian for speed.
Oh, okay, okay. He was a fast boy.
Well, here's the thing. Barbarians are designed for power. Now, you give a barbarian power and speed, you basically just have one punch man going on.
One punch!
Not to mention the fact that we pretty much completed like the first chapter in pretty much under 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, wow. You can go through like the first chapter that quickly.
Yep.
We've been fucking around for 2+ hours.
Yeah, but that was the thing. That was the thing, though. Like, you know, he ran straight through to the monastery to, you know, and pretty much completed it from there. Whereas, like, we're taking our time. We're making sure to gather gear. We're getting equipment because, like, later on it will get harder.
Yeah. Okay. We just need to find the teleport.
Velt's already ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we've been out for a while.
I'm just trying to find the waypoint. Because yeah, we're in this.
Here, I believe. Like, crazy sure there isn't. But I will double check.
All right, so there's the monastery gate.
Yeah, there isn't.
Is there really? Huh.
No, I don't remember there ever being one. Like, normally this area led straight to the monastery, and there wasn't really much more for it than that.
Oh wow, there's a giant gate here. We can't go through this one. You dick.
No, you gotta go over this way. You gotta go through the doors, not the gates.
But what if I'm a big dude and I want to be feeling like a big man and going through the gate like royalty or big dude?
Are you calling me
this
fat?
gate is for you.
This is bullshit, chat. I want to feel like a big boy.
Then press the door!
Fine, I'm heading it back.
Grant just can't bear with the fact he's not big.
Wait, is this the monastery from the first Diablo?
No.
We were already at Tristram.
Okay. I thought like they somehow moved the monastery out from Tristram, or, you know, magic
No,
shit.
this is the monastery for the other religious group.
The one in the east.
Yeah.
I think that's a different religion. There's a few that were going on.
There's too many religions. We need to reduce that in Diablo.
Wow.
Well,
I just realized what it sounded like. Please don't cancel me, Twitter. I'm not talking about real religions. I'm talking about the ones in Diablo. Also, is there no portals in this one?
there is.
There
There's a
is.
waypoint.
There is.
Just
Waypoint's over here, actually, Grant.
Hang on, I'm killing a Yeti. There we go. All right, hang on.
Wow. Grant's killing the abominable snowman.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
No, he's like, you know, last of his kind.
Says who?
Absolutely not.
Internet?
No, when has the internet ever been right about anything?
Internet.
Hot singles in my area.
Huh.
I know there are desperate people in my desperate horny people in my area.
Nah, you got the lyrics
no.
wrong. It's
No?
Google, stop sending me sluts. Stop sending me
Desperate horny slut.
stop sending me
Haha, even Grant can't remember it now.
I'm trying to remember. It's like Google, stop sending me sex ads. I know there are desperate sluts in the area. I have a mirror. There we go. I got it right that time. Actually, hang on. I actually do need to go back to the What's Mahoozy place because I need to identify and sell shit. Hey, look, Deckard's not being hidden.
Good day.
Oh, we still haven't found the cool shit.
Yeah, we'll find her hammer soon. It's actually pretty close.
Yeah, okay. Wow, I have used up all, like, my book is filled with town portals at this point. I can stop grabbing them.
What you need?
Yeah, that'll happen after a while. Might as well do a couple of gambles with Gahid, because I mean,
What the fuck else are
that's
we
where
gonna use
most
our
of this
money
money's
for?
going later.
Yep. Spoken like a true Aussie. You gotta go for that cheeky gamba. You know, you might win it big.
I might finally get that money to move out of my parents' basement.
I'm still mad that a lot of places in Australia are like, oh, here's a gaming place, and it's not gaming, it's fucking gambling.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I am so disappointed as a teenager when it's just sort of like, oh yeah, you want to go to a gaming venue, and I'm like, oh yeah, I would so love to go to a gaming venue, and it's like you need to be 18 plus, and I'm like, why? It's video games. And like, they're not that kind of gaming. It's so disappointing. Like that's how the GDP considers gaming. Is they're like, oh, gamba.
And now even just basic arcades now basically just gambling dens.
Yeah.
To get your tickets for those little prizes that basically, you're basically spending more money on
Basement
playing
money,
the game
you
for those
say.
tickets. Pardon?
Porking King is just like doing some weird like wolf maw thing and saying basement money, you say.
Yeah, that's death. Hang on, Velk. Don't go too far ahead. Slow down.
I haven't gone anywhere.
Where do you... Young. The outer cloister.
You see this door? It is still closed.
This door? This
Yes.
door right here?
Yes.
Damn, Grant!
Yeah.
But I don't
Closed
think
door.
you can reclose this one. Whoa, Jesus.
Why can't I go through? Let me through. There we go. Entering the
Probably
barracks.
because
Can't see
Probably
shit
because my
in
bare
there.
ass was in the way.
Yeah, correct.
Also, is this the area we need to be in to find the Whatsmahoosy hammer for the blacksmith?
Yes.
Awesome.
The hammer is here in the monastery.
Cool. Cool.
Ooh. Crystals.
I like the look of the crystal swords.
Yeah, I've picked it up so we can show it to Grant, who is already running off.
Is anybody not going to check out the side rooms where, things actually might be?
I think I found the hammer.
Grant has already run off. I did say this.
Oh, Grant,
Yep,
what are we going to
we
do with
found
you?
it.
Oh, look, the smith. I'm still alive for now. Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's
Is
extra
that
troll.
very quickly?
Yep, and we're done. So over here.
I lived. Cool dagger, a key. Ooh.
This will help the sisters turn the tide against evil.
Nice.
So you see that gold writing on that weapon? That you just picked up, Grant?
Yep.
That is a unique. So those are very hard to find, but always worth it.
Excuse
investigate.
you. I'm good, Porking King. The mating call of the age is burping? No, burping is not a mating call.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Burping is a sign of wealth.
Hello.
Alright, let's have a look. So, small shield is self-repair, a bronze axe, and a lunar dagger. Wow, fucking useless.
Here I am clearing rooms and just everyone else is like,
Oh, but now you're running ahead, and that's okay. And I was waiting at the door.
I'm not running ahead. I was clearing rooms.
Oh, no magic, socketed, rare, unique, or set items, no jewelry. What? So, wait.
So
Yeah, so basically just a plain item is what she'll upgrade.
Yes, into a yellow for you.
Okay, so I can't put any blues in.
No,
No.
Okay.
but you can
So
also
just-
save it.
Yeah, you can save it till much, much later in the game, come back, and with a really good quality, like, you know, superior item, have her do the yellow on it, and then boom, you might get something really good.
Okay, so let's say, for example, I grab this shitty saber. And then... Ding.
Nope, that won't work because it's socketed.
Alright, what about...
Try
This
Scepter.
hunting bow.
The Scepter might be really good for you if you can find a normal one.
Oh, she doesn't do the thingy anymore. What?
Nope, she'll only do it once.
Oh. Huh. Okay.
Did you waste it, did you, Grant?
To
You sure did.
yeah, to try it's a bow for the mercenary though.
True.
Like it's doing all kinds of cool shit.
Can't argue with that. No, can't argue with that.
Wait, why can't she? Oh, she needs to be level 11. Hmm. Problem.
Oh yeah, look at those swords. They are awesome.
Ooh, it's kind of cool.
It's like that advertisement thing that you used to run. Superior crystal.
What advertisement? Superior crystal? Huh?
Do I really have to? Do I have to?
You're gonna have to explain shit to me.
Cerveza Cristal!
Oh. Alright, put you in there for now.
I'm sorry, he was just not getting it, Val. I'm
He was
sorry.
not getting it.
I was not getting
It's
it.
fine.
Enduril's lair in the depths of the monastery catacombs. Okay.
Okay, no, hang on. Let me just quickly. I need to buy a few potions from Akara.
Okay, so maybe potions are something we need to grab. Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like potions as we kill things as well. So.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to have a few on you to be on the safe side.
Oh, look at this, a light healing potion. What luck.
Plus, I needed to stock up on other items. And make sure I didn't have anything else. Go through grants.
That was the wrong choice.
I mean, what is the right choice anymore?
That would have been the other portal.
Oh yeah, because it's also 3 of us. Expect these areas to have a lot more powerful monsters.
Noted. Which is good for us.
Yep, because it won't make the game too easy, but yeah. Oh, next level down, Grant's over here. But Grant wants to have an explore over there, so let's go over there and help Grant.
Okay, I'm gonna change my thingy-majiggy to prayer so I can that way I can get health back.
Yeah, what one were you using? The
fire one.
Might.
Yeah, so the fire one, I would probably like. It's good, but it's like I would recommend it for areas where it's like really tight.
Or if you pump like 20 levels into it, then just equip it on at all times and watch everything explode.
Armor shrine. Nice.
Possibly. I don't know if that's a viable build. But,
All good. All good.
I don't know. Well,
I'd like to see it though. That'd be funny.
yeah, I would too. Like when I ran Paladin with my brothers, I was always normally utilizing a lot more of the
This is no place for a warrior to
defensive spells. Oh, a Hawk Helm.
Hawk.
No, not that good. Oh, although, I mean, comes with skills, so it's worth selling, even if it's cracked. Okay. I'll follow you guys up.
Oh, skeletons.
I basically launched the entire quiver.
I saw that. A longbow there.
Ugh, it could stay there.
Not good?
Poison resist?
On a longbow? I mean, granted, it's a two-handed weapon, so having some resistances on it isn't a bad thing, but...
I'd rather the ability to kill.
Yeah. Uh-oh, hang on, I gotta head back. I just realized my armor's a little bit damaged. I didn't even realize that I hadn't repaired it.
I'm gonna be taking these with up.
God damn it.
Oh, someone's on fire.
Was it me?
Roasty toasty.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back. My prayer, just having it every once in a while. Oh.
I mean, at least it's better than the other one that goes. Oh, oh.
There's one that does that?
Yeah, it's might.
Might.
Also, hi there,
Which you
Night
have.
Sky. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, but I kind of need the healing, so...
Yeah, but you can inflict that upon us at random times, whenever you wish.
Just to hear everything go, ha ha ha. Yeah, that one.
You could probably flick between them really fast, if you wanted to be evil.
Okay. Good, we found the portal. Are you really doing it, Grant?
The silence.
Oh, hang on. I think this is our doorway down here.
Sure is.
Where?
Over here.
Oh, okay. Did you guys go through the bone portal? The portal that's up here, you know, just in case.
Yeah, I've activated it. I've activated it.
Cool.
Bone portal?
Jail, sorry.
The waypoint.
The waypoint, that. See, different names. You knew what I was talking about.
At
No,
first?
we did not.
No, I didn't.
Alright.
We worried about you, Grant, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not enough to actually, like, you know, that would be of great concern, but just a little bit, like friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, friends?
Wristblade sounds like some rogue shit.
It is. So no one told you life was gonna be this gay. Yay!
It is honestly Code's in the way again with his fat ass.
I'm sorry that my bare booty is so massive.
Then go through the doors. Be considerate of other people. Oh, I can't.
No, you go through me.
How? You got a fat ass.
I don't know. Turn into a ghost or something.
Oh yeah,
So
let me
no
just.
one told you that Code was going to be in the way.
Well done, Bell. Well done.
That was really good.
All right, I'm at maximum of what I can summon with my my wolves at the moment. So next I'll do the birds, and then I'll think of what to pick out from there later.
Oh, wait. We've missed something. There's a secret.
He says with no context because apparently it's
Over
a
here.
secret. Oh, okay, hang on. Making my way backwards.
Because even Code, I don't think, knows about this one.
Probably not. Oh!
Wild Saber says that you've made a better roadblock than a doorway.
Thanks, Wild Saber.
Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Hang on. How did you get in there?
There was a door.
There was a door.
Hidden door.
Oh.
The two shields.
A hidden door that... Really nothing great in there, though.
There really wasn't. But the lesson is that sometimes you can click on things like that, and it's actually a door.
I forgot about those, honestly.
They sometimes don't even come up per game. It's completely understandable.
Fire, thorns. Okay, I'm gonna increase my prayer, because turns out it's a very low level.
Might be a good idea.
So
I need to increase my strength a little bit.
So yeah, my base strength is like 65, but it's gone up to like 71. Oh, look, a torture wheel. Don't know how it tortures you in a wheel, but sure. Champion
it's more so
Wraith.
the fact that it leaves you. It more so is the fact that it leaves you in a very exposed position.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what geometric shape you are in. If you're naked, that's exposed.
Yeah, but that one leaves you really exposed.
Yeah, very clever.
Right.
Hang on, Grant. Velk's disappeared over to the encampment. Wait a second.
Okay.
I'm changing my armor around.
I'm gonna sell my thingy-majiggy. Hang on a second.
Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe Grant should just have the other armor then.
Hang on. Shared
I mean, you
stash.
might as well give it to him at this point.
Yeah, he might have 70 strength soon.
Yeah, I'm technically at it now. Oh wait, no, 69. Never mind.
What can I do for you?
Nice.
Noise.
All right. In which
Did
case,
we both just say noise at the same time?
Yeah.
I wonder why my
So
strength
we
isn't
should
going up
get
that
more
high.
magical items now.
There you go, Grant. It's on the floor for you.
Yep.
Ah, thank you.
Jeez, what are you wearing now?
If you want, I can show you.
This yet.
Okay, so
hang on, let me just-
something had me at like 71, and now it doesn't, which is annoying.
It's probably a chest piece.
Poison resist. Oh, might as well sell that.
Nah, hang on. I'm gonna put on this Grand Charm of Strength. Now I can put on the Thingy-Madiggy. So I just need to remember... Actually, what happens if I take this... Lol. Oh, wait, actually, I should probably double check. If I take this charm off... So... Alright, so sitting at 73, and this thing is giving me 25% enhanced strength and 30% lightning resistance, so I'm at 41. So if I take it off... Ah, it does remove my resistance. Okay, so I do have to keep wearing that thing in order to...
Yes.
Okay, cool. I thought I could be very cheeky and be like, oh yeah, I put it on, and then really quickly not. So yeah. Hooray, my cat also now knows I have food for it. My sister brought cat food and a food water bowl for him, and I chosen a name for the cat. Hey, nice! Welcome, Baxter. Welcome, Baxter. Hopefully you're having a wonderful time.
What name have you picked for the kitty?
Baxter.
Oh, Baxter. Have they? Oh, that's an... Oh, okay, I didn't see that part. Okay. What sort of weapon would benefit? I'll wait until later on before I imbue anything.
All right, heading back into
Yeah.
the...
Code? Yeah, I'll show you.
Yep, let me have a look.
It's technically worse, but...
Oh, hey, I found the jail, level 3. So, found the next bit.
Hang on, where are you, Grant? Go to Grant's one.
Oh, no, wrong one.
Go to my...
Yep,
go
there's
through
no
my one.
portal.
Do you want me to put
No.
another portal down?
No. Oh, right.
I went through Velk's portal and it closed on me. That's kind of funny.
So we will now have more chance of getting rare items.
Why do we have...
How so?
Is that just because we're deeper into the game now, or is that because of an effect?
That's because of my gear.
Oh.
Velk's wearing an armor plate that has topazes in it, which increases the chance of getting magical items.
Yeah.
Nice.
Take a look at what
How do I...
the topazes do.
Gemmed Gothic Plate. Jesus fucking Christ.
We call this greed.
So-
we call this generational greed.
Greed Gothic Plate. So wait, are you wearing that?
Yes, I will be wearing that.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So 80% chance of getting better items.
Neat. Love
And I
it.
have gloves which give 19%, so we're good.
Nice. Is there like a place you can go which will tell you like the filled out stat?
You just mouse over that. Yes, there
Like, I
is.
know character
C.
would normally give you.
And there is a little arrow to the right of it called advanced stat.
Nice. +2 light radius, poison length reduced. Nice. Okay. That's cool. That's good. I wonder if that's because of the, reboot edition or the remastering,
Correct, it
or
is.
because of... Okay.
Because it was not in the base game.
Yeah. So does it? So is it like 90-something% at this point, or?
It is 99% better chance. Which is going to upset me until I can crack it over the 100% mark now.
I reckon 99% might be a cap.
It's not.
You can go further.
You can go up to about, I think it was 300% before it starts tapering off and starts not being useful. Or not being as useful.
Oh, a spike shield. Ow.
Okay, I thought I would just put everything into strength next, so then that way I didn't need bonuses as much, but I might need to put some into dexterity, actually. No,
I
okay,
saw you throw
95%.
ping pong at me, Onyx.
So you can press C and mouse over your attack rating to see what chance you have of hitting.
Yeah, the last thing I was hitting had like a 95%.
That's cap.
95% is cap?
Yes.
Yeah, 95. Ooh, mace, thank you.
Oh, nice.
Instantaneously using it on that mace. Let's have a look. Demon Mangler. It does a higher amount of one-handed... it does a lower amount on the minimum, but higher amount on the upper. Higher durability, requires more strength. Plus 44% enhanced damage. Plus 37 to attack rating, so it's higher on the attack rating. Adds fire, adds cold, adds poison, and increases the damage to the undead.
I mean, that can be good in any case. I mean, at some point you are going to have to replace that scepter.
Yeah. Right now, I think because of the fact it gives enhanced damage and attack rating, it is already doing more. I don't get any mana or life on hit, unfortunately, and I do lose out on like 3 levels of might, but frankly, like... Let's see how... Let's have a look. So 31 to 72 versus 25 to 55. Yeah, like there is an advantage, and yeah, this mace is Demon Mangler is good. So thank you, Velk, for your enhanced. Thank you, Velk, for your enhanced magical find.
What I'm here for. I am a walking stat.
Actually, does it matter then that you should be opening the chests first, or?
I couldn't answer that. Let me Google that.
Yeah.
That is actually something I would like to know too, because I've been opening some of these chests.
Because like the calculation on chest, it would be like if it's a calculation on generation of the world, then it doesn't matter who opens it. But if it's a calculation on open, then it would matter that it's on Velk.
Yes. Apparently, I have to open the chests for it to proc.
Oh, okay. Okay. So,
all right. So any and all chests, leave them for Velk.
Alrighty then. So it was a calculation on open. Okay.
Apparently, yeah. I didn't know this.
I guess that makes sense because, lol, first chest, nothing.
Well, to be fair, it's 100% chance of getting better items, but 100% of 0 is still 0.
I'll take minor healing. Oh, what the?
Oh, here we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Oh, inner thingy-majiggy? Okay.
Yep.
The inner cloister.
Why do they call it a cloister? Sounds weird.
Because it's an evolved form of Sheldon.
I was about to make the joke. I was going to. I was like, should I?
Hey, look, an inner.
Need to do it.
Okay,
I was
so
also gonna make. I was
Catacombs
also
level
gonna make
2
another
is
joke
the next one.
involved with that too, but I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't need TOS breathing down my backside for inappropriate innuendos.
You know what's funny? The unnamed Yeen has, like, I reckon this is probably a clever way of doing this. The unnamed Yeen has, if you don't know who they are, you should go check them out. They have a bit of a clever way of going through the whole you know, playing games and dealing with like TOS and some of that nonsense. So like if they aren't entirely in a streaming mood, but they still want to play like a video game online on stream, so like, you know, side content stuff, they'll just stream on joystick. Even though joystick, the whole point of joystick is that it's meant to be like a, oh, streaming but for like adult content and such, they will just stream on joystick. And it will just be like whatevers. Which I think is kind of funny. And they actually reached the top of the charts just by playing Forza Horizon 6 or something. Because they just they weren't feeling like, you know, putting on a show or anything like that. They just wanted to play video games and talk shit with whoever. Ooh, Bonash. Fuck you,
honestly,
Bonash.
I have been considering... Ooh, damn, leather gloves.
I can't pick up the leather gloves.
I'll get them. I've honestly been considering doing joystick. Oh, okay, here we go. Stamina, lightning resistance, fire resistance, 21% chance of getting magical items, and repairs durability.
Give that to Velk, see what happens.
What?
The 21% increase to finding magical items.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that gets me to 101%.
Nice. Can you socket it?
No, it's not one of those. But in which case, someone else should have that.
I can't carry anymore.
Hang on.
Oh, Imp Fist. Yeah, Grant, you...
Because, like, I got, like, weird items here and there, and I need to... Actually, you know what? Drop this.
Strength deck.
And then...
You know what? I do need a little bit of strength, so I'm gonna take those gloves.
Actually, hang on a second. Ding.
What are your gloves you've got at the moment, Grant?
The gloves I got on the moment is the heavy gloves of fortune that Velk was wearing earlier. So.
Okay. Because I've got ones here for 1 dex, maximum stamina, and repairs durability. If you want those.
I think that's the pair I dropped.
Doomfist.
No, not Doomfist. Wait, can you drop them on the ground?
Yeah, hang on.
I was wearing something similar that was giving me like increase to strength and dex, but like the heavy gloves of fortune has a higher defense, which I'm more for.
Oh, these ones here, the Imp Fist. Yeah, sorry, I picked those up.
Yeah, I was wearing those. So.
Do you want them back? I can give them back to you. Sorry, I picked them up without realizing if you didn't want them.
Oh, good. Let me just have a little comparison of the two, if you mind dropping them.
There you go.
So there's the Imp Fist. So. Alright, so we got the choice between 19% better chance of getting magic items, 30 to 72 on the damage, 244 on the defense, 230 on the attack rating. 230. So I get 5 attack rating. The minimum attack increases. My defense goes down. Nah, I'm gonna keep wearing the heavy gloves because the imp gloves, like, it's nice that it gives you +1 to strength and dex, but like, yeah.
I'll take the imp gloves then if that's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. You can take the imp gloves, and then.
Oh. I didn't mean to pick up Doomfist as well. I wanted just the imp gloves, but okay.
No, that's okay. You can. Imagine if someone was like, yes, you can wear 2 gloves because you're, you know, gloves or whatever.
All right, 2 gambles with Gahid.
2 gambas.
No.
Inner cloister. Actually, hang on a second. I need to go on a bathroom break. Sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
And I might also get myself a cookie in real life. So, give me a minute. Bathroom break.
Oh, now's also a good time to repair any items as well. There we go. My items have been repaired. And maybe see about getting some stuff for my archer, although I'll probably end up trading her in later on. It's a shame you can't give them the crossbow.
Right?
Oh, hang on. Longbow with a socket. I can do that and give her...
I got
put
myself a
skull
cookie.
on it. Keep her alive a little bit longer.
Cookie.
Cookie for not bookie.
It's a cookie for me. Cookie for GrantZeebs.
Now you're making me hungry.
You should get a cookie. Cookie. Get a cookie.
Grant's gonna tase me in a second.
Not. I'm having too good of a time with this cookie. Cookie.
Oh, now I want donuts. Cathedral.
Oh, the coals that I have, they've recently finished their renovations, and they have Vegemite twisters. So like it's it's a pastry with Vegemite.
Hang on. Yeah, hang on, Vel. Grant's not here yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I am just opening chests and getting disappointed.
I'm gonna go to Cathedral through my portal. There we go.
The best drop so far was that.
Hey, Artemis! I see you. You're on your lunch break or something.
Oh, hello. There we go.
Artemis, Grant isn't feeding us.
I had a cookie for myself.
Oh yeah, that's that good shit.
What'd you get?
He's opening chests. Oh my god, there's 3 chests in here, Velk.
Oh.
Velk, chests in here.
Alright, give me a second.
Do you want that bow back?
Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing that.
There you go. I dropped it.
Diamond, sapphire. I'll pick up the healing potion as well while I'm at it. How's it going,
sorry, no,
Artemis? It's a morning
I didn't see
tea
you
break.
wanted off.
How could you not share a cookie with me? I have... Okay, so... I know I told myself I was going to try and be really, really good with my diet. That has not happened at all this weekend. I brought snacks. The next time you're here, Artemis, there's chocolate freckles and popcorn and...
Damn, girl!
Damn, girl!
To everything, actually. I opened a chest and got a yellow light bulb.
Won't happen at all next weekend either. Yep, that's also the thing as well, is that next weekend, because of our camping trip and such, and what have you, it's like, it's not gonna happen there either, so... Why you tempt me like this? Because you're my girlfriend, and I wish to shower you with affection, and, like, lovely foods and such. And then there's the dumb, like, furry part of my brain that's just sort of like, hey, you know, you could, like, feed women. This is, like, a cool thing. What the hell is going on with my, Claudia? She having a bit of a seizure.
They do that sometimes. Just turn her off and on again. That sounded better in my head.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude. I was gonna say.
Velk's partner is just having a little bit of a twitch. Velk is just like, all right, let me just turn you off. Cracks your neck.
That is the least cursed thing I've done. Far from the least cursed thing I've done.
See, when I heard turn her off and on again, the thing that I was like, you know, say something that's going to turn her off and then say something that's going to turn her on.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking like that at all.
See, mine was a little bit more user-friendly. You guys were just straight up gonna murder some poor girl.
My thing wasn't murder. That's Velk's thing, all right? I didn't have the thought of, like, the turning off and on again.
Thank you, Odyssey. Artemis agreed with me.
I work with tech.
As do I. I understood where Velk was going with the turning off and on again.
It was murder, but that's not the point.
The point is in an IT sense, and it is a good troubleshooting step to turn things off and turn things on again.
Did you give it a reboot? And just watch as you sit there kicking it.
They did that as a joke in a rugby or footy advertisement I remember a while ago. Like the Queensland Reds or something like that were like in an advertisement for like an IT, maybe it was for Telstra, and they're like, "Oh, where's Shane?" And it's like, "Oh, Shane went to reboot the server." And you just see Shane just doing the like the little run up and then kick. Like a rack and such like that. And you just see the poor IT guy just running with a keyboard and just like, oh. And you just see like him just kicking the shit out of a rack.
By the way, Grant, you're running behind.
Oh my gosh.
Grant,
also,
like
Grant.
spiders, do you?
Yeah. What?
What? Spiders incoming.
Thank you for the warning. Artemis is saying, "That's my boys."
Brace yourself, because these are big.
Oh!
These are Aussie spiders. These are Aussie spiders.
Why do they have bumps on their thingies? What the shit?
I mean, have a look at them in their older version.
Yeah, in the older version, they do the creepy walk. It is.
Okay, maybe I'll go with the older version for a little bit and see how that works. Oh, hello, Catacombs waypoint.
Oh, well, I never get this because I never find the bloody.
All right, I'm just I'm gonna be on this mode for a couple minutes. Maybe I won't, get absolutely like, devastated by the thingamadoogs.
There is some down here, so we can test.
Over here, Grant.
It's a little difficult to navigate.
Down in here,
Okay, they're not as bad. Ooh, heavy gloves and a grand charm. Plus 17 maximum stamina. Plus 2 to dexterity. 20% enhanced defense and repairs 1 per thingy.
So guys, this is what the spiders look like in the other one for those who want to know what they look like in the old version for who are on my side of the screen.
Yeah, they look better, like they look less arachnophobic inducing. Oh, okay. They're still arachnophobic inducing, but not as bad as the So to put into context, that's what they look like compared to this. Snotburn the axe.
Oh, nice. I got a level out of that one. Let me just...
I can't carry anymore.
Crude light belt. Get rid of you. And then...
Itch.
Back to the grind. Kill all the things. Will do, Artemis. Will do. You get that at bread.
And if you can't, rolls will be fine too.
Oh, especially if they're cheese and bacon.
Ooh, iron ring.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh wait, is the iron ring like already checked? Yeah, it is. Okay, 34. Oh, it's better than my current thingy. So yeah, swap that out. What did I just pick up?
And not the Coles brand cheese and bacon rolls. I prefer like the good ones from the bakery.
Okay, but
yeah,
if we're near a bakery, then that's worth it. But the Coles ones are still pretty decent.
I mean, yeah.
Those cookies I just got, that's from Coles. It's some damn good cookies.
It's certainly better than the Woolworths ones, which are always undercooked for some bloody reason.
Yeah, not sure why. Although there's a bakery around the corner from me called Bacon Grind. And their donuts are so good. They're like the size of a small like dinner plate.
Yep. There's one on the island here that does incredible donuts.
Like, I will eat 2 of those. I'm sorry, I'm a fat ass. I will eat 2 of those.
Have I shown you the 1 kg donuts?
You did, you did.
Yeah.
Like, the ones that they've got here are about the same, but, like, a little less. There's a chest there for you to open. And you failed.
Man, that 101% increase magic item is sure paying off, Velk.
I mean, it's gotten us some good stuff at the moment.
Yeah. Remember that 100% of, like, 1% is still awful. Oh, I need keys.
I got
keys. Yeah.
I have keys. Hang on. Keys.
There you go.
Okay, thanks.
God damn it, of course.
Yellow item.
Boom.
Fiend Saw, plus 26% enhanced damage, plus 1 to maximum damage, plus 19 to attack rating, 6% mana stolen per hit.
That actually can be very useful for me.
Yeah, the mana stolen is gonna be kind of nice.
Yep.
Especially since when I get Maul later on, I will need that for the Maul ability.
There's a few blues dropping.
Oh, a fair few chests around here. There's one up here as well, over here near me, I saw.
Casket.
Right here.
And...
Chest right here next to me.
Oh, wow, I completely missed that. Oh, that's a Grant thing.
Oh, Grant weapon.
Armor. Shield.
Where?
The Rodache.
But it's gray.
Which means it's socketed most likely or ethereal.
3 sockets.
It's not bad. Actually, that's insanely good for you. Because later on.
It's
Down
not
the door.
as good of a defense or chance to block, though. Like, it's...
Let's just wait for Grant.
Yeah.
Before we go down, actually, I want to just drop some of this stuff.
Yeah, I've got a few gems that I would like to deposit.
I've also been identifying all these charms. It's like some of these are just shit.
Yeah. Yep.
I've got like one that does 1 to 2 fire damage, 1 to 3 lightning damage, 1 to dex.
Are they grand charms?
A
With the
little
fire
extra. No, they're large.
Ooh, I'd take that.
Which one? The fire damage?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks.
That's really about it. Large charm of flame right there.
Flaming. Love it.
Flaming mignon. I will take the taser.
Oh, I could have had Work's leg do the,
No, don't waste it.
No, I meant, like, having Work's leg imbued.
No, don't waste it.
Alright. Trade and repair. Repair all. So, sturdy heavy gloves is self-repair, and heavy gloves is dexterity I'm going to sell. Because neither of them can get socketed either, so... And I'm gonna keep some keys on me.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm really close to a level up as well, crazily enough.
You guys go through the portal first, because that way it won't close when I go through. When you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
My one.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yep.
I think it's level 4 is the boss level.
Yep.
Gonna stick with the Velk.
Actually, that's a good idea.
There we go, I leveled up, which means that I can now increase my stat So it's base level 70, so I don't need the charm anymore in order to wear the armor. Oop. Ah, okay, so we do want to...
Oh, you're right, Grant?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm just walking slowly. Oh, excuse me.
That's why I'm really glad they get rid of the stamina bar in the later 2 games.
Oh, you played Diablo 4?
Yeah, it's available on the Game Pass as well. I haven't played it. I haven't played 3 or 4 yet, so...
I played 4 when it came out in the early access, the demo. I got access to the demo.
Ooh, heavy boots. Alright, let's see how much better these boots are.
Which, honestly, I kind of liked it. It kind of felt a little bit more like it was going back to Diablo 2 style, which was great.
The end game was apparently naughty.
Yeah, that's sort of like... I've heard about that, too.
Oh my gosh, you guys are streaks ahead
Oh,
of me.
sorry, Grant.
Sorry,
Grant.
no, I was just... The one time something of, like, blue quality that was like, oh, it's in a slot that I'm not using that I didn't get all that much equipment into. And I decided to, like, you know, do a little comparison check. So...
That's fine. We're just opening chests. We haven't killed anything.
Okay, okay. Alright.
Oh, we're going to be killing it here, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, key. Remember to pick up keys. I'm already max key, so...
Key. Alright.
Like, I've got, like,
Fire
4 full slots of keys in my, inventory. Or, not in my inventory, in my, storage.
How'd you know they were even in there?
The color of the room.
Oh.
The what?
So,
The color of the room.
champions give off a certain color.
Ow. Hi, Lobster. How you doing?
I'll put that to good use.
Chest over here.
On my way, on my way.
Oh no, Velk's got to be on their way.
And then
Yeah.
a dirk.
Chilling at the moment was securing a room for ASC in September. ASC? Which Furcon's that one?
ASC. Anthro SoCal.
Anthro SoCal. Ah.
Okay.
Also, Jinx, you owe me a soft drink.
Where
Would
the
you
hell do
prefer
we
I
go
did the
from
Jinx
here?
where you couldn't talk?
Nah.
I think your gems are dropping, though. Whoa! Yellow amulet!
Whoa, okay,
Ooh,
I'll
okay.
identify.
That's rare.
Faster cast rate, maximum damage, 16 attack rate, 2 to strength, maximum stamina, 11% damage taken goes to mana.
What you're saying is insanely good.
Yeah, who benefits from that one more, though?
Half the
Like
same.
any of us, really.
Yeah, everyone.
I mean, does anyone want it? If not, I'll have it.
I have an amulet that is giving me just +2 regeneration, so might be okay for now.
Okay, well, I'll hold it. I'll have it then for the time being.
Yeah.
I do have an amulet for you much later.
My first time trying to get a room, man, was stressful. Yeah, I got really lucky thanks to, oh, wow. Oh, a breastplate.
Yeah, it
And
turns
a
out if I get
chest.
skills, it also triggers. but I have to get the kills, and I don't care that much.
Faster recovery, enhanced defense, poison resistance, light radius. Well, I need better armor, so I'm going to put that on.
Probably best for Velk to get the killing blow on bosses then.
I don't care that much. Technically, yes, but I don't care.
Okay.
Look, if he can, but don't forget there's also, it's going to be crazy when things go...
Pear-shaped.
Yeah. Into the catacombs we go.
Kill
Time for Grant to meet Andariel.
Oh, right. Grant and Andariel. Yeah, okay.
Oh, right, Grant with Andariel.
Who?
Yeah. You'll see.
Grant, just try to stay focused, okay? Try to stay focused.
He won't.
Do you think I'm gonna get distracted because they're just gonna have like a big pair of titties? Ooh, glow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't carry anymore.
Like
I'm
both
sorry,
of us
Grant.
immediately. Just.
I'm sorry, Grant. If both of us agree, then yes.
Oh, bye, Grant.
Stay a while and listen.
Because someone dropped a portal, so I thought.
No, this is in case we die.
Yes.
Oh. Well, let me get rid of some shit, so.
Well, while we're here.
Oh, scale mail.
Wait, did you already kill it?
No, not yet.
No, just a rando dropped some gold scale mail.
Okay. Oh, there's a chest here.
Alright, are you ready to meet her? Because she's aggroed.
Oh! What the fuck? Weird Dr. Octopus bullshit.
My work here.
Oh, whose rogue just died? Oh, mine did.
I can't carry anymore.
Oh, mine did as well.
I am overburdened.
Let me get the saber and I'll get the plume. That's alright, you can get them back by talking to the rogue girl. She'll get them back. Just make sure we get rid of everything. Where'd you go, Grant? Oh, you're there.
Yeah, I'm still fighting things. There's things in here to fight.
I know.
Oh, she had a cool looking throne. Nice. I'm guessing
she did.
Return to Wariv to take the cavern east. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're done with Act 1.
That was...
This is
Honestly, that probably would be very quick.
Indeed.
Many more battles await. I will accompany you on your journey.
Was your first time trying to get a room and man, it's... Oh, yeah, no, okay. Looper.
Diablo is still...
Like, actually, let me wait for this dialogue to go off, and then we can talk more about FurCon, like
Rooms
room
and
hires and such. Because I have gone through like several like conventions, both in Australia and one international. Code, you've done several, and what's more is you also work
Well, I've done one.
in...
I've done one.
Oh, okay, you've done one. I thought you've done more. But
I also work in a hotel, so I can understand the.
Yeah. So the thing I would say about room cons and such like that is that it is, no matter which con you go to, it is always going to be stressful because, number one, even though the convention is hosted either in the hotel with like the different rooms or like in a convention space near the hotel connecting, you can't have the entire hotel or a majority of the rooms in the hotel reserved for, you know, the anthro community or what have you, or the furry community. You can only get like a small portion. And what's more is you can only block out a certain set. So for instance, I was traveling up to the United States, and I wanted to be there for at least a week. I could wait until the room hire was available, or so like the room like thingamadiggy was available. But even then, I could only go for like a long weekend kind of period with like, you know, the reserved section or discount or both. If you want to go like outside of the long weekend, normally you have to play with the rat race of everyone else trying to get into the hotel and what have you. It is stressful because there is not 4,000 rooms available in a hotel or 2,000 rooms available. So for instance, in Furry Down Under, they're easily getting up to like over 1,000 people registering to join in at this furry convention. There is not 1,000 rooms free at this hotel, so I think even then you can probably get maybe 20% of, or 20 or 30% of, you know, con goers going into the hotel, and that's stressful. Like, it is very much a rat race. Ooh. Actually, hang on, before I go further. Eagle Thrust requires 40 dexterity, 40 dexterity. +1 dexterity, and then we got the boots.
Outlander.
So yeah, did you have some insight to share about, like, with hotel bookings and what have you, Code?
Yeah, you pretty much covered the bases there, because like when it comes to us as a hotel as well, like when we get conventions coming in for our reservation, like for our hotel, like sometimes they'll book in a few rooms spare as well. And like we have to be very careful when it comes to those rooms, because like if we have an emergency, we've got to switch a guest from like one of the rooms, we have to be careful going, okay, well, can we put him into this spare room? Because I mean, it's been charged by this group, but this person's not part of that group, sort of thing.
Did anyone want to see if these items were good for them?
Let me have a look.
And Dariel's death.
I'm using this for the rest of the getting snow. No.
Oh, cool. You can...
The scale mail.
Oh, she's only a level 9?
Must hit recovery.
Why is she taking so long to...
Alright, I'll give you back that. I'll keep the scale mail for now, and I'll probably use that a little later on once I get to another level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, remember to outfit your ladies as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that with this one.
I'll put that to good use.
So, because I forgot to do that last time, and... Yeah, she's only level 9 still, which is a little unfortunate. I thought she would have been much higher in level, because what level are we now? Yeah, I'm level 16, so I don't know why she's such a low level.
They level a little bit slower than we do.
Okay. But like 7 levels?
Apparently.
The other reason is because you can buy mercenaries in each of the other chapters.
Okay. 7 of 20, 19 of 20.
So in the next chapter, you get a mercenary that's basically a paladin that can give you an aura buff, kind of like what you do.
Yep.
Or in the third chapter, you get the other dude who's a sorcerer who sits there at range and will do a range attack.
Okay. All right, so we want to go east?
Yep. Cinematic time.
All right, let me...
Time for the Cinnies!
Act 2!
Act 2. Holy shit.
I wonder, could I... Okay, cool, it is a legitimate cinematic. I was worried it was just, you know, just the Act 2.
No.
Broken lands. As the days passed, my companion told me of himself, that he had once been a great warrior, and that a dark and secret burden now weighed heavily upon him.
Camel having no such business.
For an eternity across...
Yeah, because, I mean, it's getting closer to evil, and it's like, nope, I don't want to go towards this thing. Nope, I'm just gonna die here.
Oh.
And always...
Hey, don't kick the camel!
cloud seemed to follow us just over the horizon. Finally, the journey ended.
Wait for me!
They didn't think to carry anything with them off the camel?
Our destination. The shining
That would have required animating it.
lane. With a great sea beyond.
Huh.
Made camp there last night. Perhaps it was the warm desert wind.
See, I don't think I could sleep on the ground like that.
But for the first time in many weeks.
Depends on your normal livings, I suppose.
However, the dreams returned, but these were clearly not my own. I beheld a vision of a great man, the mage, Talrasha. You were there too, Tyrael. I remember seeing you in my dream. His
Oh.
brethren had cornered a great demon, Baal, Lord of Destruction, who had been set loose upon the world. They attempted to imprison the demon within a sacred stone.
That's what they did with Diablo, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh my god,
They
the
did it with.
Raiders!
Volunteered to contain the demon within himself, completing the prison. He instructed his brethren to bind him within tomb, buried under the sand. There,
Hi Raiders, welcome, welcome. Sorry, we were in the middle of like a borderless cutscene, so like, you know, it didn't have any of the thingamadickies going off, or like, you know, the little dance and the raid and all that kind of nonsense. Normally you'd find me like, you know, doing something like this. Hi, welcome. Hopefully you're having a wonderful time. Sorry.
This is my brother.
Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're doing good.
Sleep now. We set out with the dawn.
Sorry. I just had to say hello to the Raiders and what have you, but, you know, cutscene and shit.
the next
Yeah.
morning, we walked over the hill toward Lut Gholein. I had no idea then of the horrors that were in store for me there.
Gator Raid. Hi there, Big DJ. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Sunny.
Hey, Sonny. Hi, Big DJ. How you guys doing?
So I'm going through Diablo 2. This is my first time playing it. It's not Code or Velk's first time playing it. They're kind of subject matter experts in the VC for me. So we're going through all this. I would recommend, however, paying attention to the pinned message, which is, please don't backseat. It's my first time. If I'm fucking up somewhere, let me do that and try and have a little bit of a learning curve here and there. But I still have Velk and Code able to help me out.
Greetings, honored
So yeah. Hi, Photo.
Wow, you look vastly different in the armor, like, you know, from
Fairport City.
there to that one.
Greetings.
Oh, I missed the...
Greetings, honored traveler.
Oh.
Greetings, honored traveler. I am Jaren, Lord of Lut Gholein.
Like, and if you look at Velk, like his Amazon does this whole weird twitch and turn thing when she stands still.
Some time now.
Lol, someone animated her just to be, you know, sitting sexy. Whereas here, it's just like...
Began when a dark wanderer came this way, looking for the tomb of Talrasha. No one knows exactly where Talrasha, keeper of is
oops.
entombed, but it is certain to be far out in the desert.
Cookie for Sensei Theo! Here's your cookie.
Dead rising
They really didn't need to give her an ass and plate mail, but alright.
lurking amongst the myriad dunes.
Why not? Do you not want to have an ass in plate mail?
Not how plate mail works.
All trade ships moored until I am sure that my city is.
How am I doing?
Plus,
I'm
can
doing
you
fairly all right.
can you imagine having you know, a booty in plate mail?
Go see her in
I mean, you'd go to sit down, and you'd basically like one of those wobbly toys you see on fucking, like, you know.
I apologize, but I can't invite you in.
You'd just be sitting there going whoop 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 whoop.
Also, sitting down would be hell.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, this place
That
is
would
even
fly
bigger.
Straight up there.
Like, goodness gracious. Why did they make this area so big?
Because this is a city. Lut Gholein.
And then we've got all those unlocked in the first chapter, so now we got the second chapter. So they had another like basically ball, and they did the same thing to ball as they did with Diablo, which is stick him in a soul crystal or some soul gem or whatever the fuck it's called.
So essentially, in the story, they do it with all three of the primevals, where they seal them in a soul stone and stick them into a random person in order to try and contain the evil.
But the person, like, they don't stick it into a dead person, do
No,
No.
because that doesn't contain anything.
And then basically the demon would just take over the dead person's corpse. Putting them in a live person means that person's soul fights against the
I can trust you. Hmm?
thingo.
Grant, are you going to be wearing prayer all the time?
Oh, not all
I'm
the
just
time.
curious. Not all the time?
Not all the time.
Okay. Aura activates attack rating.
I will get one with prayer then.
Attack rating.
I've heard that
What are you getting done? Which one are you getting? You're getting one with prayer, are you?
Yes.
I'm impressed.
I might get one then with, because there's one with the attack rating, which I think is might, and there's another one with
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
defiance, which is defense. I think if you're getting prayer, which is for life, I'll get one for defense for us.
I bet you wonder how this town manages to stay safe with all the trouble going on out.
I mean, you don't have to hire one of these new guys if you want to keep your archer.
Well, they're all level 15 is the thing, so like... increases defense. Also, what? Trapdoor? Ah, that's
you open that trap door.
Is that where we're meant to go in?
Yes.
Hang on. Let me just quickly...
Lol. Short and sweet. Also, hi there, Bookie. Welcome, welcome. Sitting in well-built armor is not that bad, speaking from experience. Oh, was I not meant to be in here yet?
No, we got to talk to somebody first.
Who do we talk to?
Or have you already talked to them?
Grease or the dude who said
No,
you shall...
Good day.
Oh.
The creature makes its lair in the tunnels beneath the city. He butchered my husband and son. I simply cannot bear to talk about it.
Okay.
Evil has laid siege to Luca Lane.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the sewer entrance.
Radaman's lair in the loot. Ah, okay, so we have to go into the sewers to find the thingy. How are you enjoying this so far? I think this remake keeps true to the original. It does. I had to switch over to low quality mode when we had to deal with some disgusting spiders. But other than that, it's pretty decent. There's a lot of... I wish you were able to filter items, like rarity-wise, rather than just showing every single one of them. But... Or, you know, none of them. But it is what it is. Yeah. And then, meanwhile... We've gone through Act 1 with relative ease with all three of us. Velk right now is wearing a suit of armor that gives him 101% increased chance of finding magical items.
It's now
and we have been kind of abusing it a little bit.
As we should.
Oh, you've got a ranged skill now, do you, Grant?
Yeah, the Holy Bolt. I just put one bit into it, that's all.
It can come in handy, so it's certainly not bad to have.
Yeah,
when
normally...
Expect to start finding runes in this area now, too.
God damn you, just let me...
This is also where things are going to get a little bit tougher when it comes to monsters now.
Like already, like my my guy is not hitting things like with, you know, ease. So, yeah, 87% chance of hit. So I do need to increase that chance.
It's not just that, but because we're getting further in, and there's three of us, I expect to see a lot more in the way of, like, champion monsters and things like that.
Well, that's kind of cool. What the fuck is poisoning us?
That would have been one of the things we just killed, that poison mist.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes they release it on death. Oh, there's a rune.
Once again, Code's fat ass stopping me from joining in on the fray, so I have to swap over to javelins.
Excuse my big bear booty.
Code has been pushing his ass in the way all throughout the stream. He blocks the door. He blocks the roads. He blocks me every chance he gets.
Grant's just jealous that I got an ass and he ain't got none.
It's not jealousy if you're stopping me.
Grant's just jealous I got an ass and he ain't got none.
Oh, Luke Gold, what?
Yeah, it was the other entrance.
Oh, so there's two ways in here.
Two entrances, yeah.
Okay, weird. Thought there would just be the one.
Look, I could have gone with a necromancer, but no, I decided I was going to go with a bear.
Well, apparently the druid needs one, because otherwise he won't have the vine follower. Because the anaconda won't want none unless you got buns.
This act is full of poison nonsense? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not a backseat gaming thing. That's just a general.
That's just
fact.
fact.
Yeah. So we're not gonna punish for that one.
No, this place sucks.
Cool.
Like, I expect me chewing through some potions for poison damage.
Mm-hmm. Greedy.
Oh, sand raiders. They're huge.
Oh, they can be huge, but I can't.
They're not in the way of me attacking them because I'm attacking them, aren't I?
He just can't make up his mind, chat.
Ooh, mana potion. Oh, portal shrine.
What?
Now you're picking with portals.
Ah, so it takes you to loot Whatsamahoozy if we wanted to. Okay.
Yep. You can just go home whenever you want.
Nice. Meow. Don't mind me as I... did I exit? Yeah, I don't need that bolt. Frankly, don't need this light crossbow either.
I have birds. Alfred Hitchcock would be proud.
Who?
Alfred Hitchcock would be proud.
Ah, okay. Yeah, he did
the creator of birds.
Yeah, was it ravens or the birds?
Birds.
The birds.
Okay. Never seen the film, but I know the title.
Not to be confused with Birdemic.
Or Birdnado.
Good luck. Hope you have a lot of fun.
If you've seen Birdemic, I am so sorry for you.
If you need to like, do some post-stream care, such as like food, water, bathroom, or sleep, or anything like that, totally understandable. I'll do my best to keep your viewers entertained as I go through the Diablo 2s. I don't know if it's critically acclaimed, like the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, but hopefully so.
Oh, that's where you were going with that.
Every time I wait for the deep breath just to continue the line.
Yep.
And then just for all of a sudden, like the sound of a cash register to go off as Square Enix starts paying Grant.
Nah, the cash register only goes off when someone pays me on coffee.
Which we both have, by the way.
Pay us. Poison. Nice.
Give us monies. We want monies.
give money. Me poor. Me financially illiterate furry. Give money. Give money for give.
Here's for level 3, by the way.
Yep, there's a waypoint somewhere here. Oh, found the waypoint.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's look for that first.
Found it.
All right, move. My bare ass is coming through.
Is there something wrong?
Fucking ass. I'm surrounded by ass. That's why they had to give ass for the plate mail, is because your fat ass stops the way too. Bear ass,
Wow,
Amazonian
you
ass.
can't just say that to the Amazon.
I can and I will. You complained about ass on the plate mail. This is why there's ass on the plate mail.
The old version, anyway, not the new version.
Wow, Grant being mean to ass.
As is my right as a paladin to, you know, invoke, like, religious judgment upon you. Repent!
Oh, did you actually see that? Did you actually see that recent thing that the Pope's actually put in, like, a decree of some sort? That,
yes. Yes.
About AI?
So, if you are not aware, chat, the Pope has weighed in on the AI discussion. The Pope, not someone, you know, trying to interpret the will of the Pope or something like that, but a legitimate Pope. Now, hang on, I'm just gonna hit pause on this one. So, it is a long fucking tirade. It is, like, there's an actual, like, proper name for it as well, because it's not just the Pope being like, oh yeah, throwaway comment. It's like, no, this is a religious, like, you know, meeting and documentation about the thing, and he's like, ah, yes, this is terrible. This is not what humanity should be striving towards, and is definitely being used to, like, you know, demerit people's livelihood, and this is a affront to society by trying to invoke that, you know, fair work is to a fair person. Like, that's not fair at all. So what this means is that if your company is, like, putting forward, like, AI shit, you now have religious grounds saying that this invokes on your religious freedoms in the United States. Because the Pope has, you know, decried the use of AI. It's kind of incredible that way. Like, there's actual skin in the game for, you know, company, because before, if companies put AI into their companies, there wasn't really much you can do other than just complain, and they go, huh, interesting, you don't like our strategies. Get fucked, we'll fire you, or use it anyway. Damn it.
Yeah.
I died.
Can these guys use... Oh, did you die, did you?
Yeah. Takes its toll of 6,736 gold. Can you give me a portal, please? Wait, what happened to all my items? Oh my god, they're all dropped down, didn't they?
There's a... Code's got a portal here.
Yeah, I've got a portal up. Just come straight over to me, Grant.
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen too, by the way.
And also your cash is full.
Yeah, but where's all my oh, there's my corpse.
Hey, yeah, once you pick up the corpse,
nice.
You don't have to worry about picking up everything separately, which is great.
Yeah. Sorry, I just need to have a little comparison of the items. First, 3, 2.
Yeah, because a few yellows dropped there.
Yeah. Plus 4% of mana stolen, 60 to attack rating. But yeah, like there's a... Like before, if your company was doing AI shit, the most you could do is just object to it, but then you might have to live... You might just have to live with the consequences of your company deciding to put it in AI. Now that the Pope has, like, weighed in on it and is actually, like, you know, wrote in, like, this official document and such, granted, it's not a crusade against it or anything like that. We're not at that point yet with the use of AI and shit. But basically, if you are... Is the Pope Catholic? Or is it Christian?
Catholic, I think it is.
Catholic. So yeah, if you are Catholic, you basically have your religious leader saying, hey, AI is a decry and we're not for it and such like that, which means you now have a, like, there is like a religious, you know, objection to AI. And because of the United States, you know, wanting, you know, having religious freedoms and such like that, you know, companies can't, you know, can't enforce AI upon you or make it like a fireable offense that you don't want it because, you know, they have to allow you to have religious freedoms and shit. So...
Oh yeah.
So
this is really gonna hurt the AI bubble.
It is definite, like, considering there has been, you know, larger people, you know, weighing in on this now, rather than just being like, you know, oh, morally, it's like, nope, you have a religious leader now decrying this shit. Like, that's a legitimate, high stakes person. That, and then just the finances just showing of like, oh yeah, like, everything is being costly.
Not worth it.
Yeah. So it's going to be a long-ass time, unfortunately. Like, we're not going to see it crash and burn in 2027, but we are seeing the starts of it where, like, most recently, oh, chest over here.
It's just not going to be worth continuing.
Yeah, so there are some, like, for NVIDIA, they're still going to go heavy onto it, and they're going to try and convince us of, like, oh no, like, don't listen to this slump, it's totally worth it, buy our stock, buy our GPUs, buy our hardware that would help invoke AI and such like that. Like, they still want that to happen. But for anyone else that's, like, trying to be, like, if they're not on, like, you know, the hardware, if they're not on the hardware side of it, it's a losing financial gain for them right now. NVIDIA is going to be fine in this kind of thing, annoyingly enough, because going from AI to any kind of other thing is going to be easy for them because they're supplying the shovels. You can use shovels for more than gold farming, so they're going to be fine there. It might take a hit, but it's not going to take as much of a hit as someone that's only working in AI. Ooh, shit. Why am I so slow? Fuck.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, he does some damage to do that.
All right, hang on. Let me just get rid of the horrors that are right here.
Are we clearing?
Oh wait, these are undead. I could be using Holy Bolt, can't I? Nice. Ooh, Ithrune.
Oh, we all got a book of skill as well, by the way.
Book of skill? Hang on, did I pick up? Okay. Right click to learn a skill of your. Why is there lightning going off? Is that you or?
That's the boss.
Okay. Quest log. Return to Atma for a reward. Cool.
Wow, I am heavily poisoned.
So yeah, like,
by the way,
I really wish, you know, things would crash and burn like very rapidly in the realm of AI. I really do, but unfortunately, like, you know, the Raiders once again. Who's raiding us? Solo. Welcome, Raiders. My name is Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer. I go through games in my backlog or brand new ones, and this time we are going through the Diablo franchise. We recently went through Diablo 1 with the help of Velk and Ko the Yoshi, and now we're going through Diablo 2! Please no spoilers as I go through Diablo 2. If I fuck up on your meta, too bad. I'm playing it how I want. And these...
Yeah.
Here we are. And that's Velk. And then that's Code. Thank you, Gaming Skylander, for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. How was Abiotic Factor Solo?
Abiotic Factor is a lot of fun. I would honestly recommend people picking up and playing if you like survival games.
It's an open world survivor crafter. I am kind of familiar
with it. But it has a lot more of a story to it.
What is with the Horadric scroll? Like,
Horadric scroll? Yeah, you'll need that.
Yeah, I can't pick up a second one, so.
Yeah, because I accidentally dropped it because I'm... Anyway.
Long Staff of the Bear. Is that yours, Code?
Well,
no, I dropped it, so yeah, that's mine.
You do know a Horodrum, so why don't you go talk to him?
Hang on a second. Ooh, Deckard!
The lost Horadric scroll. What a fortunate turn of events.
Open world is a bit of a stretch. If you're exploring, it's open world.
No.
Giant Maze, since you're playing a survival, but you're a scientist during the Black Mesa incident. Okay. I thought it was just a random base, like, underground in Australia. I didn't think it was Black Mesa.
Off his burial chamber from the mortal realm. Those same mages also crafted fearsome Horadric staves and imbued them.
Oh, is this the mage that Code played in Diablo 1?
No, it is not.
To the thievery of a rogue sorcerer, they divided all the Horadric staves into two parts, wooden shaft and metal headpiece, hiding them separately to safeguard them. The Horadrum foresaw our current plight. The hiding places to reveal themselves to worthy heroes like you.
To get wood, you gotta break down furniture?
Staff and unite them.
Yeah.
Alright, So, long blow with flame, the bitter thingamadoogie, and I got all these. Private chest, hang on.
Did you see it?
What did I miss?
Did you see it?
Sir Dragon just like, did you see it? What did I miss, Sir Dragon? That it plays a lot like Dungeon Siege? I reckon that's because this is the original dungeon crawler. This is a roguelike during the age of like the early PC computers of the 90s. Also, I need to sell this. Farah. I'll sell it to you. Sell this. And do I want to sell this? Yes, I think I'm going to sell this Bitter's Axe. And I'm going to sell these potions, and then I'm going to sell one of these keys. So, yeah, I don't...
What was the axe?
It's not here anymore.
No.
It was on the ground.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, and then I need to talk to Atma.
They say that the taste of vengeance is...
And I'll give my mercenary the, oh, I need to get my mercenary back.
Rogue is older than this game, I'm pretty sure, as well, technically speaking, as well.
I have spoken on your behalf with the rest of the townspeople. The merchants have agreed to show their gratitude by offering their wares and services at lower rates.
Nice.
Jaren wants to see you too. You'll find him in front of the palace.
I find it funny, like, in like new game, like the druid's got a bit more beef to him, but yet in the original version, he Twinkie.
Search the maggot lair under
You saw
the...
his
What?
starting string. Search the halls of the dead under the dry hills for the cube. Pull the shaft out of the maggot lair, and
Giggity.
search the claw viper temple for the headpiece. Code, we're going.
Stony
Okay,
Tomb.
I'm coming.
We go in here?
No, we can. It's not what we need to do, but we can.
Okay. What's the worst that can happen?
Death.
Yes. I love that we both went there.
Hi there, big DJ. I see that... Ooh, a two-handed... Wait, I don't care about two-handed swords.
Correct.
Although I will need to increase my dexterity at some point. And I made the mistake of the last time I leveled up, I increased my strength because I was on autopilot.
Oh yeah, I need to do this. Now I've got 5 birds! Oh yeah, and be aware that a lot more of the chests now, when they have traps, are going to be AoE traps.
Noted. I'm still leaving it to Velk to open it because he's got, like, the magical buff.
It is now 129%.
It's just...
Damn, Velk.
And,
I'm a loot gremlin.
And what's more is Velk is still going to be hitting stronger than anyone else.
Not right now. Give me next level.
Oh.
He's a gremlin. He's a gremlin. Doodle 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 doodle. He's a gremlin.
Because right now,
Damn it, I accidentally opened
I just
the
do
chest.
a lot of AoE.
Which I think is in probably a good state for us when we go into these areas and there's just a shit ton of people to hit. Thank you for the head pats, by the way,
Yeah.
good DJ.
I mean, sure,
Like,
but
especially
my
when we
mana
get
doesn't
to like 3rd and 4th chapters, there will be a lot of hordes requiring AoE. Who the fuck puts like fucking traps in vases?
Me.
True.
+1 defense, nice. I will take that. Why can't I? Oh, because I have to click on the thing. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, Grant, this isn't Diablo 1. You can't just walk into the stairs and go down them.
I have to click on them.
Which I'm actually kind of glad about that because so many times I went down those stairs accidentally.
Oh, damn it. Fuck it. I keep opening the sarcophaguses.
Careful. Lot of poison, Skelly-mans.
Yep. Hang on, let me get rid of that one. There we go.
There you go.
Fanged Helm, we'll see what you're about. Oh, it's barbarian only, so do not care.
I honestly thought you were going to go barbarian when we first started this.
Tempting, but, like, why did I go paladin? Was it because of the sword and shield?
Maybe.
Oh god, not these things. Nope. So, Grant, welcome to the worst part of this game.
This is why I got myself a spear.
Oh, there's a Blue Hawk helm in there. Why you gotta cock tease me like that, game?
Right, I have AoE, I'll just...
Look at me go. There we... Ooh! Tier. Gold.
Oh wow, it turned blue, which was really interesting.
A smoke sphere?
Feral Rage, Poison Creature.
What in the world is
5% chance to cast a Frost Nova with...
Are you a sorcerer code?
No, I'm a druid.
Okay.
Feral Rage. Oh, that's werewolf form, so it's not really all that useful to me. No. Done.
No.
Smoked Sapphire.
Oh, Smoked Sphere? That's for sorcerers. If it has skills, then it'll sell. Then...
Oh, my,
throw it in the trash where it belongs.
My What's-a-Who's-a hireling died again. What a waste. Shame.
Your Amazon?
Yeah.
Your rogue?
Yeah, my rogue died again.
Yeah, but don't forget, you might not have enough equipment on her to keep her alive well enough. And this is a lot of poison damage.
It is a lot of poison damage.
And they are not smart about this. You can also give potions to your lady.
Yeah, don't they have potion belts?
They don't, no. You gotta... Whoa. Double yellow.
Yeah, nice hit.
Glyph Fang. +1 minimum, +73% damage to undead, +72 to attack rating against the undead, adding fire damage, and 10% fire resistance.
Is that for which weapon?
That's for the saber. For the sorcerer, it just does +2 to ice bolt, so it's going to be worth a lot of money.
You want to sell that?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna.
You want the Glyph Fang to sell?
I'm probably gonna sell the sorcerer's thingamadiggy. What about the saber?
Not really worth it for me. So.
All right. Chuck that under the sell category as well. Is that everywhere?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So...
You'll find a lot of these are only like 2-level tombs.
Yep. Okay.
I have birds.
Where the fuck is... Oh.
Oh, Grant, you're back at the,
Yeah.
You're back in town.
Yeah, no, it's not that far away from where we were.
Hello.
Good evening.
1,881 sell value, so not really that much. And then...
Not here.
More runes, damn. Hang on, Velk, let's not go too far. Let's go back to the area for Grant.
I think runes fall under the magical item. I think.
Given how many they've been dropping at the moment, looks like it.
Alright. Making my way back out into the desert, joining up with Velk and Code as they, you know, cause havoc. Dun 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 dun.
Also, good luck knowing where to go in this place.
Yeah, it's nothing but sand. It's like Dubai all over again. Ooh, Trident.
Oh yeah, but be prepared for these guys, which have Charge Bolt.
Whose lightning? Is it ours or someone else's?
It's theirs.
Someone else's.
Oh.
So get ready to dodge it.
Dodge? The fuck you mean dodge?
Alright, I have my first single target skill now. Hooray.
When we get a chance, I'll do up a skill. I'll do some skills.
Okay, I like this.
What skill did you get?
Guided arrow. I no longer have to aim.
Nice.
That's useful.
Oh, chests and urns over here. Seriously? Nothing? Wow.
Nothing.
This game just doesn't like Velk some days.
It's not guaranteed to be everything. It's just guaranteed to be double the time. Oh, and Grant found the way out, it seems.
The dry hills. Sorry, I was gonna say drying hills.
Okay. I'll come back to you guys. Yeah.
I don't like that much.
Didn't I give you one a fire recently?
Yeah, but it was small.
Oh, why is this one like a bright oh, it's just a head. For whatever reason, I could stand on it, but doesn't really give me an understanding as to why.
Well, because it's a head.
It should have quit while it was just a head.
Hey, Grant, can I borrow that taser for a second?
For no reason in particular.
Yeah. Ah! I said borrow it, not use it on me, you bastard!
I only know how to go. Zzz. Hey, look, a staircase.
Yeah, let's not go up the staircase just yet, Grant. Let's just have a look around here first.
Oh, okay, okay.
There is something that we need to find, but it could be up the staircase.
Best to have a look around, though, first.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Plus murder, you know, can't go wrong with a little bit of murder.
There it is.
The holes of the dead.
Yep. So this is where we get one of our pieces from, isn't it? Or is this where we get the cube?
We get
where we
something
get
important.
The box.
Let's do mole, because I need mole.
I love not having to aim now. That's wonderful.
Yay! No aiming for Velk. He gets to be an honorary himbo.
I also just like how it curves. That's something that could be taken out of context, but will not be taken out of context.
No, it won't.
What's that? Sorry, I'm too busy taking it out of context.
Scroll of Identify, healing. Ooh, another scroll of Identify. Wow. The first door had us going very deep. Once again, Code and his fat ass not letting me through. There we go.
Excuse my bare booty.
Excuse me, princess. Wait, whose boulder was that?
Mine. I can do that when I'm not a bear.
Oh, it has one slot, that's why.
Oh, is that unbearable for you?
If someone's been used, you can actually get the taser for that one. That's legal.
Chipped, ding, dong, key.
Hang on, I saw it. Oh no, just standard wolf head.
Cool.
Hmm.
Ah!
This thing
Someone put
spreads.
magic.
This thing spreads out quite a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. At least it's not as bad as Daggerfall dungeons.
True.
Never played Daggerfall before.
Don't.
Let's just say there is a lot of cross-world traveling and very little,
Actually walking to get there.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen Josh Drive Hayes pointing out that, like, Daggerfall falls down the pitfall of, oh, it's bigger. That must mean it's funner, right? It's not funner when it's bigger. Because, like, one thing, like, if we don't like, you know, boring small spaces, we're definitely not going to enjoy boring big spaces. Like, that's just how it is.
It's not just that, but the dungeon design of what they chose is very interesting.
85% shit.
Where it's... How do I put this? The dungeon
Lots of
layout from a
corridors.
map looks like about 8 octopuses having an orgy. You don't know what's going on. There's rooms on top of rooms. Shit's everywhere.
Hell, the first Legend of Zelda's not very appropriate looking sticker map was a lot less confusing than that.
And you can spend a day doing a dungeon, and I don't mean in-game, I mean a literal day.
One dungeon. Yeah, understood.
Yes.
Combat skills? Damage, demons, and undead. Nice.
Not feeling this penetrate.
Giggity.
I have a skill called penetrate.
Most men do.
Yeah, but this is the Amazon.
Who's to say that they don't have something hidden underneath?
She probably would.
Oh, chest. Okay, why is the sarcophagus so beefy? Stop it. Stop having so much
Right?
health.
I mean, it's not just any
there we
sarcophagus,
go.
it's your mum's sarcophagus.
There's a lot going on in the room. Okay.
You dorks, I swear. I mean, yeah.
But this is why you watch us. You watch us for the dorky energies. You're definitely not watching us for, like, you know, the critical skills and meta builds.
Okay, were you about ready for him to start doing critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV?
Yep, I braced.
Anytime you hear the words crit, you're just sort of like, uh-oh.
No, just critically is sort of when we brace
Critical
for it.
thinking. That's what I was. That was the word I was trying to get to. Critical thinking.
About here.
Hey, look, a waypoint. Oh, we missed the waypoint for the dry hills. Shit.
It's just one.
Don't worry.
Way bear.
Yeah, it's funny. Every time I say werebear, I keep looking to see if Barista's gonna pop into the channel.
Werebear.
Yeah.
Nah, he ain't there yet. Werebear. Why aren't aware?
They're probably drawing her asleep at the moment.
Ooh, level 3.
Oh, wait, I have something that I share as well.
Grant's wandering off.
That's fine.
He's an adult, we think.
I'm fairly sure I'm an adult. I can pay for my own lunches.
Like a good mango chicken with a cheese and garlic naan?
Ooh, mango chicken sounds
I
good.
prefer a butter chicken, but...
Butter chicken's fine.
But it has to have the naan. If it doesn't have the naan, then it's not worth having.
I feel like a curry without the naan bread is a good it demonstrates a good quality curry. If you need the naan bread, I don't know if that makes it a good, like, you know, makes it a good,
No, the reason why you want the naan bread is because if it's a good quality curry, because then you can get the rest of the sauce from the curry off of the naan bread.
That's a nice to have, I suppose, but...
Now I'm making myself hungry for naan bread.
I really like the cheese and garlic naan bread. Oh, Grant, over here.
Hang on a sec, I'm kind of surrounded by zombies.
Ooh. You know what? You know what I loved? Aldi had these for a little while. Was naan bread sandwiches with like butter chicken in them.
Nice.
God, now I'm making myself fucking hungry. Grant, get your booty over here.
I'm moving. Schmoving and moving. Hang on. Nope, nothing worthwhile there.
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. You're garbage, though.
Yay, we now have our own Herodric cubes.
Yay. So now we use a,
Now we can use the portal to go back. We might want to maybe consider calling it too soon, because it's almost been 4 hours.
11:25. It's been 3.5. Stretching! Oh my gosh. Big stretch.
You need to talk to Deckard Canes.
Big stretch for the big boy. I can't see Deckard Cain in all these portals.
That's because he's over here.
Ah, okay, cool.
You have quite a treasure there in that Herodric cube. According to Herodric lore, the cube can restore a Herodric staff. To do it, use the cube as you would a scroll. When the cube opens, place both pieces of the staff into it and use the cube's transmute power. You'll be pleased to know that the cube has other alchemical uses as well. 6 gems plus 1 sword transmute into a socketed longsword. You may also transmute 2 quivers of crossbow bolts into 1 quiver of arrows.
What?
While 2 quivers of arrows yield 1 quiver of bolts. I must leave it to you to discover other formulae.
Bless, that's what I'm after, boy.
What the fuck?
So, Essentially, we can use this thing, the Herodric Cube, which I would recommend leaving in your stash.
You actually carry it with you.
I mean, you can carry it with you for extra inventory space if you want. But I find it better to leave it in the stash.
Oh.
Cast rate, deck.
Oh, I'm gonna keep that, and then you can go there.
So what you can do, Grant, do you have 3 similar gems?
I've got plenty of chipped sapphires. Hang on a second. I've got 1, 2, 3 topazes. I've got 1. Actually, hang on a second.
So what you can do, get 3 of the same gem and put it in the box.
Alrighty then. Alright, so I got 6 chipped sapphires. And then I transmute?
Yep. But make sure you only have 3.
Makes a flawed sapphire. Oh, okay. So it increases the thingamadiggy, okay. So, hang on. And then you... Yep, so I now made a full sapphire. So now it does 4 to 7 cold damage, 24 to mana, cold resistance 22. Cool.
Might do a little bit of gambling with Elzex.
1, 2, 3. Flawed Topaz, adding 1 to 14, lightning damage, 13% better chance of getting magic items. Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, okay. Hang on a sec. I need a...
You got a hit?
Have a look at the stream.
Yeah, it's a hit.
5% to cast amplified damage on striking.
Is
4
huge.
maximum damage. 53%, 53 attack rating. 4% life stolen after each stolen per hit, and 1 mana stolen per kill.
So, level 1 amplified damage, I believe, is 100% extra damage.
So that's going on.
Hang on.
I got lucky on that one.
Yep.
Okay,
I'd
hang
say
on.
cash out.
I'm gonna sell something. Hang on.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna cash out on that one.
Sell that. Keep that. Runic Trident is a 2-handed. Sell that. Alright, now I've got a lot more space to do stuff. Rugged Charm of Flame, Energy, Mana, Faster Cast Rate. Alright. Alright. Sorry, I'm just... Now comes what will probably be seen as a bit of a boring part of the stream. As I organize my gems.
You'd
yeah.
be surprised. People enjoy organization. There's games
I
around
do it
it.
a lot. Hey, I do it a lot too.
So I've got an F, Ith, L tier. So if I do tier F, does that make Tirith?
No, that's not how the rune words work. They are preset.
So there is a website that gives you all the rune words if you do want them.
Ah, okay. Alrighty, so
Like a lot of these are like high level. I think you can I think there's like lower level ones.
alright, so I got 1 diamond, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, I'm 1 diamond off.
So here's one for you. This one's for sorcerers, but it's a start for staffs. Is Tyr and Ral, which if you put in a staff for a sorceress will give you +3 to Firebolt, +3 to Inferno, +3 to Warmth, 2 mana after each kill, and then that gives you an idea of how these sort of things look. I'll give you the website for this because they're actually very useful.
That is greatly appreciated. So give me a second. So
I'll put it in the group chat, by the way.
sorry, I'm just gonna organize this real quick. All right, so
I
that's
don't get the
chipped, and
joke,
this is
Belk. I
flawed.
don't get the. Oh,
It's a warehouse. It's a house turned into a warehouse.
It literally took me a second. It literally took me a second.
Oh, chipped sapphire. I can put in here next, and then you go into there. You go into there. You go into there. All right. And then
Really had to take a second there for that one.
took you a minute. Can you combine these jewels? Oh no, you can't, because while they look this. Wait, hang on.
Can
Lapis
do something with
lazuli
them.
and lapis lazuli. So there's 1, 2.
Wish there was a way
Jewel
to
of
sort
Spirit,
these by.
Jewel Joyful, Crimson, Bronze. Okay, so these 2 are lapis.
Oh, level requirements. Okay.
Wait, I don't need this crude preserved head anymore. I can sell that, can't I?
Yeah. That's necromancers only.
Okay, so yeah, there's some that you can do at lower level. So if you go right down to the bottom, Tyr and L in a 2-socketed swords, axes, or maces. Actually, that's not too bad.
So tier L.
Yep. So if you got Tyr and L, I've got an L there. So I've got L, and I don't. Oh yeah, I've got a Tyr. So if I was to put that in a 2-socketed sword, axe, or mace, either one of those, we'd get 20% enhanced damage, 3 to minimum damage, 3 to maximum damage, plus 50 to attack rating, plus 50 chance to open wounds, 25% increased attack speed, 2 mana after each kill, and 1 light
I've lost
rating.
everything you've said at this point. I am so sorry. That is way too much information for my brain.
Basically, it does a lot.
Okay.
What level are we all at the moment, I'd say?
Thingy. And then Lizard Charm, Grand Charm.
Let me see if I can
Roderick.
find. Because I don't mind using this to.
And then there's a recipe book. Oh, it's just Sly.
Okay, let me just. So if I put them in, so it's got to be T, then L. It's got to go in that order.
Oh wow, there's like a lot of different recipes.
T. Ta-da! Grant?
Oh, chip diamond. Nice.
Grant?
Give me a second.
That is what happens.
I can't pick it up.
You can't?
Oh, there we go. Now I can. Tyrell, a steel. Ooh. So it does way more damage. Very fast. Increases attack speed. Wow, this is doing a lot. 50% chance to open wounds. Plus 2 mana after each kill. Plus 1 light. Can I use this?
I mean, yeah. Do you have another tier? Because I might actually make one for myself. Because it actually might be slightly better than the sword I've got.
Hang on a second. I've got a tier. Here we go. TIR. I've got an
Yeah.
LEL.
I've already got an L.
I got an F and an ith.
So I need a two-handed mace, two-socketed mace. Or sword or axe.
And
there's a superior saber in the
1 diamond. Who wants? Look at that.
Do you want the saber?
I mean, I guess I go.
It's probably going to be too low. We can do better.
Yeah.
Sapphire, diamond, flawed topaz. So that's a flawed amethyst. Look at that.
There is ways, I think, of like resetting some of the stores, isn't there?
Yeah, it requires quitting and.
Yeah, I don't need to do that.
Oh wow, some of these. So the belts increase the slots. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so your belts will increase the amount of potions you can carry in your belt rather than on your person.
Good evening.
And then this guy just sells
something
potions.
that I speak for all of us when I say we wish we had that for Diablo 1.
Alright, I'm gonna put... Sorry, I'm just reorganizing my inventory, because... Okay, so we only have 3 pages. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking, like, maybe soon we should call it, because, like, now that we've sort of, like, we're getting to the 4-hour mark, getting all this organization stuff done.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And Lord knows is, like, there's probably, like, getting through lunch at the very least. And I need to figure out, like, if there's, you know, someone I could talk, like, if there's a GP open today, just so I can... Because I want to know, like, what can I do about my back? Like, if I have to do physiotherapy, that's going to be very fucking annoying. Considering it only hurts, like, in the morning after, like, you know, getting a shower and such. I'm hoping they're going to be like, oh, yeah, you just need to do a, like, get a heat pack or maybe a massage or something like I'm hoping it's, like, really low-level shit, not go to a physiotherapist. Yes, but, yeah, I need to figure that out. Get lunch, figure out what my stream schedule is going to be, because the fact is, I'm not going to be streaming on the Friday or Sunday. So next week, we won't be doing a Diablo, I would imagine, because...
Because you're going camping, right?
I am. I'm going to be going camping with my girlfriend, Artemis. It'll be real good.
Oh, okay. Oh, I found a superior axe. That'll do for this thing.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, so...
That's good.
Alright, so hang on. So if I go to Q, so search the halls of the dead under the dry hills for the cube. Search the maggot lair under the far oasis for the shaft. Search the claw viper temple for the headpiece. Okay, so we found the cube. So now we need to go to the far oasis and the claw viper. So that's for next stream's thingamadiggy, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty then.
Oh yeah. Ooh, attack damage went way up with this axe.
Alrighty,
I'll keep that crystal sword though for another character, I think.
Alrighty then. I will... Do we want to call it here then? 20 minutes before...
I think calling it here is a good idea.
Alright. Hi, Izzy! Might be even funnier. It might be your mattress.
Izzy,
or your sleep. I used to gouge out my mattress with how much I moved in my bed. I'm hoping it's not my mattress, because the mattress is really good. So, yeah. Alrighty then. Yep. I've quit out at this point. Exit lobby. Wow, level 18 already. Damn, we've now, like, you know, gone further than... Yeah, nice. Ah, Sister's Lament, the Desert's Journey, and we can see that in Legacy if we wanted. Alrighty then.
The achievement for doing the achievement here's funny. The achievement for doing a rune word, Rustofar.
Vustofa. That definitely came in after Skyrim. That's definitely because of the restructured thing. But yeah, that's gonna be it for us today. Oh Lord, I want to go to the bathroom, but I can hold it in until we are done with the with all the, you know, the explanations and such, and you know, we'll pick a raid target. All right, we're gonna pick a raid target. Let's. Sashera is playing the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. We're gonna go raid into Sashera. She a cool like.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
She does like cool art. She does like the heals in the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. Chat, you should go check her out. We're gonna go raid into her. Let me.
Sash is amazing, so let me get my raid up for her too.
Alrighty then. We're gonna go for what's our raid message gonna be?
Double trouble raid bubble.
Yeah, double trouble raid bubble. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Double trouble raid bubble. I'll use my arrive emoji for that.
Whatever emotes you guys want to use, just use them. I made them up I made it up on the spot, so I was like,
all good, all good. Alrighty then. I will get the raid. Lol, what's she doing? What are you doing, Sashera? Stop focusing on me, Sashera.
Sash, what are you doing? Did she already she knows what we're doing.
She gave me a shout out. I think it's because she's in the middle of a dungeon raid, so maybe she doesn't know. She just sees me shouting her out. But yeah, for everyone, I want to say thank you for coming along to this morning's stream. I greatly appreciate it. You were all so well behaved, not spoiling anything, not telling us how to do the metas. I greatly appreciate it. Code Velk, thank you so much for getting me through more of Diablo 2. Since I will get a schedule out in the next week, and we're probably not going to be doing a Diablo 2 on the Sunday. What is on? Do you guys have an idea of what your schedule is going to be like in the next few days?
So I've got. Oh, we got to raid out. Sorry, bye.
Bye. Okay, bye. We're raiding out. All right, bye. Bye. Where's the?
Sorry, the timer went down on the 10, so I was like.
All good. All good.